Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Yes, it is Merlevision time tonight. I want to see lots of Merling in the chat room because I know you love it when our ghost hunter Merle is on the air with us. We have a special guest tonight from Las Vegas, Nevada. Danielle Nicole is here. We're going to talk some ghosts from Sin City here coming up momentarily. But first, we have to say hello to each and every one of you. Why? Because we love to. Yes, we love to. We got SJ in the gold medal position, T-Bone taking home a silver, and Tim Mothman in his goatee sharing the bronze medal tonight. Kitty Caddywhack, how are you? Race fan, what's going on? Lisa Smith and Mel WD-40 is here, lubing us up for tonight's show. Why? Because when you go into a show with Merle, you got to be nice and lubed. Merle's like, Mel, lube me up so I could talk some ghosts. So Mel is lubing Merle as we speak behind the camera, and he's doing a fine job of it all. All right, Robert Lamoth, how you doing? Stephanie Kenny Blankenship, thank you for coming on in. Operation Shutdown and Necessary Dialogue, good to see you. Desert Rat is here. Desert Rat will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio if you don't mind, to the left of the studio. Road Flare, how's it going? Jaquetta, nice to see you. Luscious Jules, nice to have you here. Vamp Skyder, thanks for coming on in as we continue on with our roll call here. And yeah, we're getting some good Merling happening, people. This is why we do this right here. Flat Six, thank you for coming on in. We appreciate you. The Grieving Model, welcome to SOR Chat. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell, please, and thank you. Skip to Malou, good morning to you over in Denmark. Mama Catherine, there she is. Mwah. I love you, my dear. I know Merle loves you. And we promise that if you join us in Vegas, Merle and I are going to absolutely hug you. We're going to hug you tight. Yeah, I know Merle is all about that. We love you, Mama Catherine. I hope you enjoy tonight's show. She's just the best. Just the best. Frankie B, how you doing? Thank you for coming on in. As we scroll on down next and we say hello to Merle in the chat room. Look at that, Merling himself up. We love it. Paramarv, what's happening, my friend? As we continue on with our roll call here and we say hello to Integrationing. Nice to see you. And let us continue with Undead Jed, J Truthseeker, East Coast Turnaround on X. Good to have you all here. Scrolling on down, we say hello to United We Stand. And, of course, up next, Doug Shelby is here. The Doug Shelby has arrived, which means we can officially start this show. Aussie Boss Tiger and just another guy named Harry. Nice to have you both here. Algaray over on Twitch. This guy's jacked. He's humbling himself, saying he only did 250 Merle-ups in 3 minutes. He actually did 550 Merle-ups in 3 minutes. He didn't want to embarrass anybody. 550 Merle-ups in 3 minutes. Jerence Carter, nice to see you. And who's next on our list here? It's Thunderhead. Thunderhead will be signing autographs after the show as well. line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind, to the right of the studio. I'm Hardcore over on X. Nice to see you. Jose Sanchez, where have you been hiding, buddy? Good to have you back. Ryan C., nice to have you here. And T-Bone, thank you for the gift of 5 memberships to our YouTube channel. We appreciate that. Hold on 1 second here. Hello and welcome to the radio and podcast side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We're going to get into the ghosts of Sin City with our good friend Merle on Ghosts of the Great White North and our special guest, Danielle Nicole. We're going to bring them in momentarily, but first we are in roll call right now on our YouTube side as we say hello to Howard S. Nice to have you here. Flubber Lane, nice to see you. And who is next? Merle's Girl. I wonder who that is. Merle's Girl. Love me some Merle. How can you not love the Merle? Super Chat is open. It's a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. And don't forget to get your Merle t-shirts at spacedoutradio.com. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. So make sure you go check it on out. Hey, it's that time of the night. I'm going to ask you a favor. Throw those horns up. Let's rock.
Are you ready to hear your mystic voice of the night?
It's time to wake up.
He's here. Shush. Be quiet. He's ready for you to listen. Let's point our ears towards the little cabin in the woods, where together, my friends, we own the night. It's time for Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott.
From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the move and watch Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. We're getting into the paranormal tonight. We're going to head to Las Vegas as Merle from the Paranormal Road Trippers is here for the Ghosts of the Great White North and our special guest, Danielle Marie. Then in hour number 3, Swamp Dweller will kick things off, followed up by the Q&A with Terry Hall and his fantastic mustache. So let's get right to it. Our main man, Merle, here is familiar and respected, a face in paranormal all around North America. He is the core member of the the Paranormal Road Trippers. And for years, he's been doing this show monthly called Ghosts of the Great White North that we broadcast to you here live. And he loves going to different locations, unexplained phenomena, haunted mysteries that linger off the beaten path, known for his calm demeanor, sharp insight, and grounded approach, along with being a fan of a team that has lost 11 straight NHL games. Merle begins the balance of investigations by blending curiosity with critical thinking. His ability to analyze situations without sensationalism has earned him a lot of trust and credibility among fellow investigators and audiences alike. Let's bring him on in, our main man, Merle. Welcome to Spaced Out Radio again, my friend. How are you?
2015. I've been doing this with you, Dave. It's been a long time.
Way too long. And I haven't got rid of you yet. You're like a fungus. I just can't get rid of you.
I am. But based on your comment, I got to do this tonight.
Oh, did you lose again tonight?
No, they're winning 4-2 right now.
Oh, that's amazing.
But there's still a period left, so they'll lose.
You haven't won in 20. So for people who don't know what we're talking about, Merle is a giant Vancouver Canucks fan. Giant.
Yeah.
Okay. Like And the worst thing that can happen to any NHL player in Vancouver is Merle gets a jersey with their name put on them, because immediately they get traded shortly after.
Yep. My favorite player got traded. My daughter's favorite player got traded. Now I'm just gonna get a jersey with like Velcro, so I can interchange names.
Oh, dude, you don't get a jersey with the name on it. You just don't, unless it's like Connor McDavid.
We don't who?
Connor McDavid, the greatest NHL player in the world right now.
Never heard of him.
Oh, you should try it. Just try it being an Oilers fan.
No.
The only time it hurts is in the Stanley Cup final. But let's get right to it, my friend. I love talking paranormal with you. I love being able to share the stories and the investigations with you. But you got a special guest with us tonight, and let's bring her on in. And she goes by Danielle. Danielle Nicole is her name. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
She is with Vegas Afterlife, based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, my favorite city in the world. There's no other place outside of my hick town that I live in that I would love to live than Las Vegas. And that is proof of the pudding. How many times have I said that, Merle?
Every show, every phone call. Yeah.
Every show. And so we're very glad to have you here, Danielle. And Merle, how did you meet Danielle?
Through Instagram. I noticed I've been posting a lot of my Nevada content from when I was traveling from Virginia City to Las Vegas this past May. And I did one at the Tonopah Cemetery. And I think Vegas Afterlife liked it. And then I looked at the Vegas Afterlife page, and you do so many events throughout like Virginia City. And I'm like, oh my God, these are my, like Dave says, Vegas is in like my top 3. Well, Nevada is in my top 3 places to investigate. Yeah. And you do some really cool places. Tell us about Vegas Afterlife.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Am I good? All right, awesome. So Vegas Afterlife is a business that I started last May. I launched Memorial Day weekend of 2025. I always was into the paranormal. Ever since I was about 12 years old, I was always obsessed with it. I always wanted to do something with it, but I never really knew how to profit off of it. It was always just a hobby. So I ended up starting this business. I started it as a walking tour, like a little haunted walking tour through downtown Las Vegas. So we would stop at different haunted buildings. We wouldn't go inside. It was just more of just, historic walking tour. And then I came with the idea of, what if I offered paranormal investigation tours? So I ended up reaching out to a few places. I got all the business insurances, like totally insured. And I landed my first locations, and I've just been growing ever since then. And I just keep getting more and more locations. And a lot of the locations are places that people aren't really able to investigate outside of what I do. So I like to be able to offer experiences for people to be able to do things that they wouldn't do anywhere else. So that's what I do.
This love of the paranormal that you've had since you were a teenager, how did that develop? Was it just television shows, or was it just an interest in?
So when I was 8 years old, I grew up in a house that was very haunted, and it wasn't even an old house. It was built in like 1991. And I was having a sleepover one night when I was about 8 years old. And I remember it was me and 2 other girls. We were, just all sharing a king size bed in the guest room. And my one friend, she looked in the hallway and she's like, who's that man standing in the hallway? And there was this black figure, this shadow figure of a man standing there. And I don't have any siblings. My parents were both asleep, so it wasn't my dad. And I know exactly who it is now because I know the history of what happened and like who this was. I know exactly who it was. So that kind of sparked my interest growing up, like seeing that. I can still see it in my mind. It's like one of those things that like still linger vividly still in my mind. And then I ended up moving up to Pennsylvania because I grew up in Florida, ended up moving to Pennsylvania. My parents owned a local publication, and it was like a local magazine. And basically I used to write articles for them. I used to have my own little section, and it was called Paranormal Corner. And I would write different articles every month about paranormal stuff. And this was like 11 years old. I'm like writing about like orbs and like different types of hauntings and stuff like that. And so this paranormal team reached out to my parents and they were like, do you guys want to come on a ghost hunt? So I was like, yeah, sure. Like I've always wanted to do that. So I went on my first ghost hunt with my parents and I've just been doing it ever since. So I was 12 years old when I started. It's been almost 20 years.
Damn.
It's fun. Yeah.
Now, you also do YouTube, right? Like, so you do YouTube.
No,
you
I
don't.
do.
Okay.
No, I don't have a YouTube channel. I kind of just I do my tours and I just mainly do Instagram and stuff like that. I'm just so busy with my business. I don't even have time to even remotely think about doing YouTube and, you know, doing all the editing and going through evidence and like all that stuff. So I'm so busy.
It's too much.
It's too much. I'm already overwhelmed with everything I'm doing now. I can't even imagine like adding YouTube into the mix. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I'm so tired as it is. Spiritual dream.
Something about you decided to do something about it. A lot of people, you know, who are paranormal investigators or whatever, they immediately think that, you know, the way to kind of grow their interest and their public interest is through social media. You decided to go differently and build a business around it. Why did you take that avenue?
I think because I actually wanted to profit off of it. I wanted to make my life. I didn't want it to just be a hobby anymore. I was, you know, working in offices. I was miserable. I was just sitting there for 8 hours. And I'm like, I hate my life. Like, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I don't know. It just came up in my head. I'm like, you know what? Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to make a living off of this. This is what I want to be as my career. I want to be a professional paranormal investigator. I want to do this. So I made it happen. And everybody was always like, oh, like you can't ever make a career out of it. Like, oh, it's just, you're not going to do anything with it. But here I am doing something with it. Like, I literally quit my full-time job to focus on this because it's what I love. It's my passion.
I think that's great. If you can make money doing something that you love,
yeah,
go for it.
Exactly.
You know, it really is. A lot of people don't get that opportunity, right? A lot of people don't get that opportunity to do something that they love. And the fact that you are one of the in that low percentile that has actually been able to accomplish that, good on you. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Has the reaction from local businesses been for you saying, hey, I would like to come in here. I would like to take tour groups. I'm fully insured. I would love to take people on paranormal ghost tours around here. How does that work?
So a lot of the locations are already haunted. There are people already know that they're haunted. So groups already pay to rent out these places for themselves. So, you know, there was one local business that I did reach out to that nobody knew was haunted. Turns out it's actually one of the most haunted locations that I do investigations at in Vegas. It's an escape room, and they actually made a post on their social media with this. They were having poltergeist activity. They had this key that was on the wall. It was like super heavy key, and it ended up just like flying off the wall one night. They caught it on their surveillance, and they posted it on their Instagram page. So I sent them a message. I was like, hey, would you guys like me to come check things out? So they had me come out. I did an investigation just, you know, for myself because I wanted to see what was going on too. And then I talked to the owner and he was super open to having me bring people in. He's like, let's do this. Like, they're going to make money off of it. I'm going to make money off of it. It's going to bring them business because we offer a package to get an escape room because it's an escape room. It's literally an escape room. And so we're offering discounted escape room packages with the investigation experience. And,
oh, that's cool.
You know, so I'm like collaborating like with the local businesses, like what can we do to make you guys money as well and bring more people to you? So a lot of places are very thankful that I'm around. I don't really do like a lot of like local businesses. I do mainly like, you know, I've been doing the Pioneer Saloon. I've been doing Whiskey Pete's out in Prim near like the California border. And, you know, that was most recently featured on a Ghost Adventures episode. A lot of the locations I do are historically haunted, and people know that they're haunted. So yeah, it brings people to places that people wouldn't usually go to. So it helps other businesses make money.
When you do your ghost tours, do you get a lot of activity? Like, do your
Yes.
clients get a lot of? Do they get what they pay for? Like,
Yeah.
'cause,
Yeah.
like, I've done
So
tours with Dave before, and it's kind of like sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I'm just
I
interested
mean,
because you got good spots.
yeah, so it varies. I mean, obviously, you can't force spirits to do things. You can't make them show things. Like they'll show stuff if they want to show stuff, but for the most part, most of my investigation experiences, we do have a lot of activity. But it also varies by the location too. Some of the locations are not as active as others. But I bring enough equipment to be able to establish some sort of communication during these investigations. So then the skeptics and the people who have never experienced anything paranormal are still able to experience something. I've never had a bad review. Everybody's always came out satisfied. People
Awesome.
come out as believers, which is my favorite thing, because I love when a skeptic comes in and then they leave and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. And I'm like, yep, now you're a believer. So welcome to the dark side.
I was just gonna say it's the most satisfactory feeling is when you have that big chest puffed guy coming in saying this is all hogwash, and then
Yeah.
they're the first ones to leave with their tail between their legs,
Yeah,
spooked.
yeah,
And it's like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, I
job well
love
done.
it. Yep, we did our jobs.
Yeah.
How
But yeah.
has, let me rephrase that if you don't mind. From what I had heard from talking to a lot of people in the paranormal world in Las Vegas, a lot of the locations are very tough to get into, especially on the old original strip like Binions or the Golden Nugget or anything. They try not to promote that paranormal aspect, even though everybody knows that they have a lot of hauntings and ghosts wandering around from the back in the days when the mob was running Las Vegas.
Yeah.
How do you try and build a professionalism with them, that this is something professional? It's not about games, it's not about making fun or a YouTube channel or making a spectacle of the business. It's about trying to build that paranormal community because people have interest in this. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, in regards to these places along the strip and like in the old part of Vegas, and I see somebody said the Mob Museum, I've reached out to the Mob Museum. They want nothing to do with this. And mainly that's because they're historians, and historians don't like paranormal. They don't want me anywhere near that place. I've tried with them twice now, and they're like, absolutely not. But in regards to like the different hotels on the strips and stuff like that, like the older hotels, they don't want anything to do with this either. There is one hotel that does promote their paranormal stuff, and that is the Hotel Apache. But besides that, all the other hotels, they don't want anything to do with paranormal because they don't want, I guess they don't want to scare people. They want people to continue coming to their places, even though everybody knows that they're haunted. But it's hard. It's really hard to do anything within actual old Vegas or the strip itself, just because of, the big corporations, the contracts and everything else. It's almost impossible. Now, I am doing something with Whiskey Pete's. Whiskey Pete's is obviously no longer open, but I am the only paranormal team. I don't have a team, but I'm the only paranormal group that is allowed to have access to that building. So, that took me like 4 months to secure that location. I went through so many contracts, legal paperwork, insurance paperwork, like all kinds of stuff. And it's a lot. It's a lot working with these big corporations. So I like working with the smaller locations, just because it's, I don't have to go through all of that stuff. Casinos are hard to work with because of all the legal stuff that's involved with it.
Yeah, you can't blame them for that.
Yeah.
Especially when your city is one giant tourist attraction.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, and I would love to do Circus. Circus would be like crazy. I've heard so many stories about that place, but it's just, they don't want anybody going in there and hunting ghosts.
I heard a wicked story out of the Luxor. There's
Oh,
apparently
yeah.
a room where like a really bad murder happened.
Oh, yeah,
But
that
no
whole
one, yeah, no one will tell like the room number specific of where it
yeah.
happened.
I mean,
And
the Luxor itself, like the shape of it, people have done really nasty things in that hotel. I mean, every hotel along the strip, I mean, things happen every single day. People kill themselves, people are murdered, people are, disappearing, stuff like that. I mean, it's not talked about.
no.
The things that happen in Vegas literally stay in Vegas. Like, these things are not talked about. These resorts cover things up. It's just, I don't know. That's why I don't go to the strip. I don't trust it. Stay in my house, not leave.
No, but the Luxor, for instance, and we actually, Merle and I have to talk about that later this week, because we were actually thinking of staying at the Luxor for our little Vegas getaway. But the Luxor does have a haunted reputation, or pardon me, a cursed reputation because of the shape of the pyramid, because it went with a lot of Egyptian like facts and everything like that. And a lot of people believe that it brought a curse to that hotel, even though it's one of the coolest buildings you've ever seen, and where I would like to investigate inside the Luxor is the Titanic exhibit.
I was literally just about to bring that up. That's something else that's haunted in there, is all the Titanic stuff. I think they have the bodies exhibit in there too.
Yes. I heard an incredible story a few years ago where somebody walked around a corner and saw somebody in period clothing, was asking them which direction to go. And when they got to the end, they said, yeah, we were stuck someplace looking at something. And one of your workers there in period clothing helped us out. They're like, we don't have anybody who runs this.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's the one place I would love, because I bet you could get so much out of that place.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've stayed pretty much every single time. Before I lived in Vegas, I stayed at the Luxor. And let me just tell you, the rooms are absolutely disgusting. So if you're looking for a clean room, I would not recommend.
We're men. We don't care. We just need a bed.
Yeah, I see, like with me, like, oh my gosh, I checked in one time and I literally had to move like 4 rooms because every single room that they gave me was disgusting. And I'm like, this is so bad. You guys need to move me to the tower. So they ended up moving me out of the pyramid to the tower. But yeah, that was the last time I stayed there. And then I ended up moving here. So
love it.
Nevada, Vegas has that very welcoming move here vibe. Like whenever I go there, like, Dave lives in a cold part of Canada. I live in a Seattle version of Canada. And I don't mind the heat. Usually I'm like, ew, heat. But down there, I just like it, Dave.
I would move there in a heartbeat.
Hey,
my cousin actually messaged me the other day and is like, when are you moving down here? I'm like, we've had that conversation. I'm ready to go. Just make sure I have a job. Right.
Or you can become a professional ghost hunter out here.
There you go.
Right.
Speaking of, have you done Zach's museum?
I have many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've investigated there about 6 times.
I've toured, like I've been in it twice. I haven't done the investigation. It's kind of spooky vibes in there in a couple of the rooms. Have you got some stuff there? Let's hear some of this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. First time I was ever there was August of 2024. And then I ended up investigating there, I think in February or March of last year. I mean, there's so much stuff going on in there. I feel like that place is literally like a paranormal melting pot. Like it's like just continuously like adding more and more. I feel like it's just like this energy epicenter. And I feel like eventually, like there's going to be so much energy that's stuck in that building that place is just going to blow up.
Something's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. I've seen some stuff. Most recently, actually, just 3 weeks ago, I investigated in there, and there's this painting. I'll continue
Let's
this.
continue that story. Yeah, here on Spaced Out Radio. We have our main man, Merle. We have Danielle Nicole from Vegas Afterlife. She gives ghost tours in downtown Las Vegas and all around. I think I might take her up on this when we're down there in May. You're allowed to join us May 21st to 25th. Where? We don't know yet. Merle and I will figure that out. Just come. It'll be fun.
We do our yearly sorry. Sure.
All right, we're clear.
I totally thought we were on like our YouTube break.
That's
My
all right,
bad.
buddy. That's all right.
Yeah, we got to plan our trip. Every year we do a spaced out radio listener party. So all of our awesome people that listen to us come down and we hang out for the weekend, and we usually do Zach's Museum or go to Area 51 for the day and do it up. It's fun.
That's fun. Cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
I'm excited to talk about Zach's Museum next
I have a lot of stories.
next part.
I'm gonna get tattooed this time though.
Yeah.
I keep saying I want a tattoo in Vegas, but I got to go because you don't go on the strip because the tattoos are like triple the price.
Oh yeah.
You got to go off the strip.
I just got this crucifix, and then I just got
Nice.
the Holy Trinity. But those are my protective tattoos.
I got to
Yeah,
get
well,
alien.
How many places? We'll talk about it obviously after, but I'm just off the top of my head. How many places do you have in Virginia City that you do your tours?
Right now I have 2 locations in Virginia City, and then obviously I think I'm going to be adding more. People in that town know who I am now.
Good.
So they call me Ghost Girl from what I'm hearing. But yeah, I'm going to be adding more. I'm just trying to figure out what buildings I'm going to add.
Awesome.
Yeah. So like the more that they hear about me, the more comfortable they are with, working with me. Because, some people are like not comfortable allowing that sort of thing until they know other people had a good experience.
Yeah, it's good you get the good reviews, and because that'll keep your business growing. And I don't mind doing events. I Dave and myself, we each have done a handful of events over the years, and it's fun watching people have fun doing what we do. And I really enjoy telling the stories to people and then seeing those stories kind of happen.
I enjoy like showing people how to use the equipment and, watching them use it for the first time. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's fun.
Yeah. I enjoy watching people get scared too. Let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
Merle, by the way, how did you you wanted Vegas theme tonight? How did you like Donnie and Merle?
That's good. Do they still play on the strip, or are they more of Reno?
No, they're still on the strip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do we got next?
Well,
Al Malone. Okay.
It's not time yet. I still have time.
Okay. Every half hour he changes my name. He's done it for the last 2 years.
Really?
It's been about 4 years, Merle. You just noticed it 2 years ago.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you do events every weekend? Like you're busy doing the...
Yeah. I do at least one investigation a week.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm constantly living on the other side of the veil. Like I'm not even in human world most of the time. So
I was going hard like that for a while, and it caught up to me.
It catches up with you. I'm so tired all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then, later on, I'll tell you some stories about some stuff that started happening recently. So been dealing with some dark stuff recently that I've gotten myself into. So
Love a good dark story.
oh, there's a lot. A lot around here.
All right, we got 30 seconds here. Thank you to T-Bone so far tonight by gifting 5 radio memberships to our YouTube channel. Still waiting for our first super chat. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Remember, you can shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. You can check it on out and get some for yourself. It's truthful. There really is nothing ugly there. Okay. And I want to remind all of you, if you could, Aaron in the Tree Guru, how you doing? Okay. Go to cariboucon.com. That's CARIBOO con.com, where you can get your VIP tickets to the first annual Caribou Con in 108 Mile Ranch. Merle is going to be there speaking and taking people on paranormal tours. We got Lee Strauss, we got Grant Cameron, the Beyond the Haunting ladies. Samantha Mowat will be there. Our Keith Andrews, B. Arthur will be there. Yes, Brent Thomas, and many, many more. So make sure you come check it on out. Thank you, Necessary Dialogue. Here we go. Here comes the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. We appreciate you tuning us on in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Reminder to all of you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Here we go. Our main man, Merle, from the Paranormal Road Trippers, based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, talking ghosts of the Great White North, and we have a special guest tonight. We have Danielle Nicole. She owns Vegas Afterlife in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you guys so much for being here. Merle, you kick things off.
Is this because we were talking Titanic exhibits? I'm Merlin Dion now. Celine Dion, the Titanic song.
Celine Dion. So for our radio audience who doesn't know,
Yep.
on our screens, we have our names up there so our YouTube audience can see who's talking. And every half an hour, I change Merle's name. So we're going with a Vegas theme. Instead of Celine Dion, we got Merlene Dion tonight. Very
Do you
nice.
know what I love doing on investigations? Whenever there's a piano, because all the old places have pianos, I will play My Heart Will Go On, and I get the weirdest looks from people, and then I just walk away. Anyhow, sidebar, since you gave me that name, let's go back to Zach's museum.
Yeah.
You were talking about.
Yeah, so I did an investigation there about 3 weeks ago, and I don't know why I just had a weird accent. That was so weird. So there's like an art gallery in there, and there's a painting in there called the Artemis Fractal, and it was painted by an artist named Bill Stoneham. And Bill Stoneham actually painted if not one of the most haunted paintings in the world. I think it probably is the most haunted painting in the world. I forgot the name of it, but anyway, Zach owns this painting called the Artemis Fractal. And there's something going on with this painting, let me tell you. I don't know what's going on with it. I think it's something elemental, but there's something. So I was in there with my two friends. My two friends were visiting Vegas, and we were sitting in the art gallery, and we had the door closed. And we decided to do the Delco experiment. And if you guys don't know what the Delco experiment is, it's basically like a mixture between Estes method and the Gansfeld session. So basically it's sensory deprivation, but you have these goggles on, the goggles light up, you stare into a red light and they flash, and then you wear the headphones and listen to the spirit box. And so basically I was sitting in there, and my friend was sitting in front of this painting. And for some reason, I had this really weird urge that I needed to do push-ups. I don't know why. I was just like, I feel like I need to do push-ups right now. And it's pitch black in this room. And I don't do push-ups. I don't even work out. So all of a sudden, I'm just doing push-ups on the floor inside the art gallery, inside the haunted museum. And then I get into this weird position where I felt like I was bowing to something. And I asked out loud, I was like, why do I feel like I'm bowing right now? And then I asked the question to my friend who was under the Delco experiment. I said, who am I bowing to? And my friend answered, but he couldn't hear what I was asking, but he answered with the word us.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And so I stand up, I'm like disoriented. I didn't know what was going on. I like swear I got possessed. Thank you. Yes, it's the hands resist them. Thanks, I appreciate it. So I think I got possessed for a second because my friend said that my eyes turned completely black. And I kept repeating what they were asking. And it was just a really weird situation, the whole push-ups and then us and like me feeling like I got possessed. I don't know what happened. But then at one point we went into another part of the museum and there's the Devil's Rocking Chair room. And my friend, he went in there and I don't know what was going on, but his mouth filled up with blood. And he comes out, he's like, my mouth is full of blood. And he shows me his mouth and there's a bunch of blood in his mouth. And yeah, that was just a few weeks ago when that happened, but I've had a lot of things happen inside that building. I actually spent all of Halloween there and I was scaring people. I was wearing a costume at the Haunted Museum and I was scaring people inside the Haunted Museum.
That's
on
awesome.
Halloween. It was great. It was wonderful.
The Devil's Rocking Chair kind of made me, both times I've been in there,
Yeah.
made me feel uneasy. And
Oh,
I always listen to my gut with stuff like that, but I feel if I would have touched it, something bad would have happened.
I've had to be removed from that room by a tour guide one time. I was in there and I was about 6 inches away from the rocking chair and I'm like staring at it and it slowly starts rocking. So I look at the tour guide and I'm like, I hate to interrupt you, but the rocking chair is rocking. And she's like, oh no, we need to get you out of this room right now. She said something is trying to attach itself to you. So I was like, oh, I love that. Let me tell you. Yeah. So I had to leave the room.
And for our listeners, the Devil's Rocking Chair was involved in an exorcism on Ed and Lorraine Warren case.
Yeah.
And the energy's 100% there still.
For sure. Yeah. And then me and Charles Manson, we like to have conversations when I'm in there. He gets upset when I leave the room. The REM pod will start going off whenever I leave the room, wherever his stuff is inside the little
There's
jail.
nothing creepy about that.
Oh, he loves me. I go in there and I'm like, hi, Charles. I was like, do I remind you of one of your Manson girls? Because, I got like the long, like black hair and stuff. So I don't know. I mess with him. I've had so many experiences in there. It's a lot.
That room with so there's a room in Zach Bagans' museum. It's serial killer memorabilia essentially. Yeah. And yeah, there's so many personal items of Richard Ramirez, BTK. Yes. I have a couple of personal items of serial killers too that I've got in my little haunted collection. One from BTK, and I forget the other killer, but he's from California. But yeah, no, like the Ramirez stuff kind of creeped me out, and so did the what's his name? Not Dahmer. The Bundy bag. Yeah.
He's got his bag. I have a fascination with Charles Manson. I don't know why. I love serial killers. It's really messed up, but
that is totally messed up. I will fully agree with you on that.
Everything in that museum is messed up and I love every single bit of it. And I could literally sleep in that place if I could.
Have you had any, because the Ed Gein monster show is still popular to people. Yeah. And I know he has an Ed Gein exhibit. Have you ever had any activity around that cauldron or the shovel or anything like that?
I've never had any issues in that building, or not in that building. Well, actually, I really never had any issues in that building, but no, not in that room in particular. I do get a little lightheaded in Kevorkian's room. I've never really been affected. I thoroughly like to go into the basement and sit in the pentagram. As crazy as that is. They know my name. They know my name.
No, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Very crazy.
And then the Dybbuk chamber, the Dybbuk likes to mess with me. I've had a few things happen. I've gotten scratched. I've gotten some good EVPs in there. That have literally said the Dybbuk. Like you can hear the words the Dybbuk or Dybbuk box or something like that, and there's some crazy stuff in that place.
And that Dybbuk box, that's the one that kind of messed with Post Malone, right?
Yes, the most haunted object in the world.
Yeah.
And
And for our listeners, so the singer Post Malone did an investigation with Zach Baggins for one of his episodes on Ghost Adventures, and they investigated this Dybbuk box, and it messed with Post Malone so bad that he actually had stuff happen to him after the investigation, like unlucky things.
Yeah, and I mean the room is so protected that the Dybbuk box is within glass, and there is salt that surrounds it. There's protective measures that are around the Dybbuk box. So, and obviously it's not going to stop anything, and whatever Dybbuk or demon or whatever's in there wants to come out, it'll come out. But yeah, that I don't ever get scared in that building though. Like a lot of people go in there and they're like terrified, and I go in there and I feel like I'm at home. Like it's so weird. Like I'm like actually comforted by that building. Like I've been inside that building when it wasn't even open, like to the public. So I don't know. It's just I like that place.
Yeah, I feel chill in there. The last tour I did there, 2 people had to leave because they were overwhelmed. Like one was within the first 10 minutes.
I think a lot of it also has to do with like there's a lot of like build up to the entrance. Like when you go in, there's a lot of like anticipation, with the videos, and like then you go in there and there's like fog machines, there's smells, there's different types of lighting, it's dark in there. Like it hits all the senses, I feel like. Because they have that little tunnel. There's a little tunnel that goes from that one room with the exorcism of, I don't know what her name is, but
Emily Rose.
Yeah, but there's another name for the girl, the actual girl. But there's that little tunnel, and I've gone in that tunnel, and I'm claustrophobic, so that part gets me. But I think a lot of it has to do with sensory stuff. I think a lot of people just work themselves up.
I agree. What's your thoughts on haunted objects? I'm sure Vegas has quite a few of them. When I go to Vegas, I scour the antique stores. I come home with so much. I just wonder what border guards think when they open my suitcase.
There's
all like the weird haunted stuff I buy, or Victorian photos and stuff.
Well, it's really hard. So I collect Victorian era things, and it's really hard for me to find that here. A lot of it's mid-century. I go to the antique malls every weekend, and I can never find Victorian. But when I do find Victorian stuff, I make sure I buy it, because most of that stuff is in California. So like when I go to the California antique malls, I see all the Victorian stuff, and I'm like in heaven. And I go to the ones here, and I'm like, I don't want 70s. I don't want 60s. Like I need 19th century. But I did recently, last week, purchased a doll that was almost 100 years old, and she tried to kill me. And
do tell.
Okay, you gotta tell this story.
So I've been collecting haunted items and antiques for like a few years now, and I bought this doll last Monday. I went into the antique mall and I see this doll, and it's sitting in a chair, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I own a few dolls already, but like I really wanted this doll. I could not stop thinking about her. I picked her up, I held her, I had this weird connection to her, and I felt comforted by her. So I ended up not buying her because she was expensive. And then last Thursday rolls around, and I'm like, I really want this doll. I'm gonna go get this doll. So I end up driving down to the antique mall at like 5 p.m. I see that I couldn't find the doll at first. I'm like, where is this doll? Because she wasn't sitting in the chair that she was in originally. So I asked, I'm like, where'd that doll go? She was locked up in a glass case. And I'm like, why is she locked up in a glass case? And they're like, oh, well, she's just an expensive, rare doll, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So I end up, my roommate, she brought her paranormal puck with us. And we're doing an ITC session before we purchased a doll.
That's awesome.
And we asked, I mean, it was responding. Like, this doll was responding. We asked the question, are you going to be our good luck charm? And it said the word killed. We asked, where are you from? It said under. And then we asked another question, are you ready to come home with us or something? And it said the word smell. Fast forward less than 24 hours later. I wake up the next day and I go downstairs. I had a meeting at 10 a.m. And I go downstairs and I just smell the smell. So I didn't think anything of it. I thought my roommate maybe like cooked something or I don't know. And so I ended up leaving for the meeting. I came back and I smelled the smell again. And I'm like, what is that smell? I could not put my finger on it. And I thought about it. I'm like, I know what this smell is. It was natural gas. My stove, the knob on my stove was turned on, releasing natural gas into the house. And I don't know how it was turned on because nobody used the stove in the kitchen all week. Like, we've been eating out all the time. And so I'm like, what is going on? So I end up turning it off, opening the windows. But the weirdest part is the fact that before I went to bed the night before, for some reason, and I never do this, I was like, oh, I'm going to open up my window. It's 35 degrees outside. Let me open up my window. So I opened up my window before I went to sleep. And if I would not have done that, we probably would have died from carbon monoxide poisoning. And then it gets worse.
No.
Later on that day, I go to take a nap. I'm laying on the couch and I hear the sound. And I'm like, what is that sound? I thought it was my roommate taking a shower upstairs, but it was the garage door opening by itself. So I'm like, how in the world? I've been living in his house for almost 2 years. It's never done that before. So I go out into the garage and I press the button on the wall to close the garage door and it's not even registering. Like, it's not even working. It's just, I push it and nothing happens. Then the garage door starts closing by itself. And I'm like, what is going on? Starts opening again, closes halfway, opens, closes all the way. So I go back inside the house and I sit down for a second and I hear it opening up again. So I go outside, the Amazon driver is in my driveway. He has my package that I'm picking up and I go into the driveway to go grab this package from him. As I'm grabbing the package, the garage door starts closing, trying to lock me out of the house. And my roommate, her bed was right above where the doll is and she was taking a nap. So we came to the realization that whatever entity this was trying to push me out of the house so it could attack her. And I asked her, when she came downstairs, I asked her, I was like, do you think it's the doll? She's like, yes. And she's very intuitive. She's a psychic medium. Like, she's very intuitive. She's like, it's the doll. I had to pick up my daughter in 2 hours to go to pick her up from daycare. And I was like, we need to get this doll out of the house right now. So I'm like beelining up to my room to grab a rosary. I wrap a rosary around this doll. And as I'm grabbing this doll, my house cleaner's coming into the house and she sees me carrying this creepy looking doll with a rosary wrapped around it out of the house. I throw her into my passenger seat. I didn't even care if she was sitting up. I'm like, this doll tried to kill me. I don't even care if you're falling in my seat. So I end up driving her back to the antique mall. And I'm like, please take this. Please take this doll. This doll tried to kill me. I do not need this in my house near my child. She's now in the antique mall and nobody's allowed to buy her. She is still our doll. I'm still the owner of this very, very haunted doll. And I had another psychic medium friend come back in that night after I dropped her off. The next day he came in and he said he saw this like black sludge accumulating underneath the chair where this doll was sitting, and it's like demonic sludge. This doll was trying to demonically infest my house. And if I wouldn't have gotten out, it would have taken over. So, yeah.
Well, top that story, Dave.
It almost reminds me of Mandy trying to kill you up in Quesnel, British Columbia.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, I forgot to I blocked that, not forgot that. Handful of years ago, 2015, I was investigating a haunted doll. She's in the same league, they say, as like Annabelle or Robert. She's pretty intense. In 2015, I was Mr. Prove It To Me, bro, you know? And so we learned lessons along the years, but I didn't know how I felt about haunted objects, especially dolls back then, because I myself had an experience. I need to experience something. And like listening to your story made me think about Mandy actually a few times. And so when we were investigating, getting ready to investigate, I see one of the investigators as well. He was staring at Mandy. And he wouldn't blink and he wouldn't break his stare. So I'm like, I kept saying his name. He wasn't listening. I'm like, okay. So then I keep doing my thing. But then 5 minutes later, I go back and he was still just staring in like a trance. And all of a sudden he shot up and he booked it outside and started getting sick violently. And then he was panicking about this doll. He's like, I don't like this doll. I don't like this doll. And he's like, this couldn't have been the doll. That's stupid. Blah, 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 blah. But it was, because the visions he was having in his head weren't very pleasant. And I'm like, okay. And then I keep side eyeing Mandy because she makes me nervous because what if, right? And then I just keep looking a little more. And then before we were going to start our investigation, I'm like, hey guys, I'm just going to go to my vehicle to grab a quick snack and a drink. And the last thing I remember was opening the door at the museum to go outside to my truck. And that's the last thing I remembered. And then I woke up to our team's psychic violently shaking me to wake up because I was starting to walk to Highway 1 to oncoming traffic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was that moment. I had a very high respect for anything that is haunted.
Yeah. She's going to be kept at the antique mall until I can find a perfect spot for her to sit for eternity, because I don't need anybody else to have this doll.
Do you have a photo? Could you send me a photo of her if you have that? Like on Instagram? Cool.
Yeah.
But dolls are scary.
I can show you guys I can show it on my phone if you guys want to see what she looks like.
Well, we'll have to describe her for our radio audience because they don't really have eyes on her. Oh, so she looks like a porcelain doll with braided hair.
Yes.
You know, and those eyes that dolls have that can blink.
Yeah.
On their own.
And her eyes would move too. So like this is her sitting in the chair at my house.
She looks like a distant relative of Mandy, Dave, just with longer hair.
She's got some bad stuff going on with her.
How old is she?
She was from the 30s, so I think she's almost 100 years old. Yeah.
Did they say where she was from?
They have no idea. They don't know any of her history. Nothing. They think that there might be some sort of spell pouch or something inside of her. So I don't know.
You ever wanted to do an autopsy on her to see if there's a pouch in there?
I would, but I don't know. I have a respect for her, even though she tried to hurt me.
Of course. No,
of course you do. They all say that. Even Merle says that when his stuff attacks him. We love each other. You know? Don't understand. I don't understand. We've got about 30 seconds before we have to go to break. Danielle, just watching you seem to have a lot of fun with what you're doing. You seem to really enjoy everything that you do. I'm very excited to find out a little bit more about you, your locations. We're going to take some audience questions as well when we go into the break here. But for you, that fun, that passion, it's who you are, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah, it's my life. It's my
And an
life.
exciting life it is. Merle, Danielle, we're through hour one. It's flown on by. We're going to have Ghosts of the Great White North continue with these two awesome individuals when we return. This is Spaced Out Radio with host Dave Scott. All right, we're going to take a 5.5 minute break here. Do you guys want me to put you in the green room, or do you guys just want to sit around and chat?
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm good either way, Dave.
All right, I'll leave it as it is, and I'll be right back.
Sounds good. I do want to investigate that doll. Like, I have a weird thing for haunted objects. I got rid of a bunch of the ones I had because I don't know. I thought I was having a string of bad luck for a while, and then when I got rid of a bunch of stuff,
When you guys visit Vegas, I'll take you guys to meet her. She's just sitting, like, I'll show you a picture of where she's sitting right now. She was returned in less than 24 hours. Okay, so here's the picture of her when I threw her in my car. And I was like, screw
with
that.
the rosary. Yeah.
Yeah, literally just thrown into the sea. I didn't even care. And then here's a picture of her sitting on the shelf at the store.
When she was returned, or like that was right when you bought her?
No, that was after I returned her. And she now has a sign that says, "Do not touch me, not for sale."
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a photo of Mandy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Everybody was saying that their screens froze when I showed a picture of. Oh, she's creepy.
Yeah.
I think my doll's even scarier.
Yeah, the hair.
No, that hair is scary.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I have a love for Victorian era stuff too. I
Yeah.
hoard when I see like old daguerreotype or like embryo type photos. I buy them. And
Yeah, like tintypes, and
yeah.
I buy like a lot of like old lithographs. I have like this huge lithograph in my living room, and it's literally a picture of like this doctor. It's called The Doctor, but it's this picture of this doctor tending to like a child who's dying.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I collect some pretty messed up stuff, but it's okay.
You have any post-mortems?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
I think I have like 3 or 4.
What was that?
I think I have about 3 or 4 of them. They're harder and harder to find now. And
yeah, I've never even really seen that anywhere. Like I said, it's hard to find that stuff in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is very just mid-century. So like I bought a high chair. The chair that doll was sitting in is a Victorian high chair. And I just bought that 2 weeks ago.
Oh. And there's a store in Reno that sells, I've never seen so many Victorian era photos, like the tintypes, the ambrotypes, daguerreotypes, all 1850s, 60s at decent prices. I was quite, I forget the name of the store, but I dropped some coin there.
If you can find the name of it and send it to me, because I'll be going up to Virginia City Friday. So
okay.
Yeah. I'm not
it's like
driving
a plain store, but they sell antiques and all Victorian stuff. Yeah.
I would love to go to that. But that would be fun. I mean I'm not driving my car to Virginia City. I got an SUV because my car is too small to be driving on those roads.
Is there snow up there this time of the year?
Right now there's not. but somebody just said, I really think your doll wants wooden shoes. I think she's Danish. She might be. The weather's supposed to be decent this weekend, so I think we're gonna miss snow.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm not good at driving in snow, so because I'm from Florida.
Fair.
Yeah, yeah, not good at it.
Dave, do you have
fun,
snow up
Danielle?
there?
What?
You having fun?
Yeah, I like seeing some of these comments.
Okay. Do I have any snow up here, Merle? It's melting. It melted quite a bit. And I don't know when we're supposed to get snow again.
It rarely snows here.
I hate snow.
I do too.
Thankfully, we only get it like one time a year. For like
We got about a minute to go here, guys.
next half hour, let's take it to Virginia City and let's take it to some of your scariest stories. Have you ever been followed home by like a spirit or had like an attachment?
Wait. We don't want that answer right now.
Yeah, don't tell us. Tell us next half hour.
All right. Big thank you to Necessary Dialogue, T-Bone, for the super chats. T-Bone, thank you for the gift of memberships to our audience members. We greatly appreciate that. Oob to Joe's Main, you've got ghosts. Yeah, you do. And reminder to all of you, go to cariboucon.com. cariboucon.com. I want to see all of our Spaced Out Radio listeners coming up here to beautiful 108 Mile Ranch, British Columbia for September 18th through 20th, because we want to see all of you guys attending a great event. We're going to have great speakers. We're going to have ghost tours. We're going to have a little bit of everything. Sasquatch tours, UFO, sky watches. It's going to be great. Here we go in 5 seconds, everybody. We are into hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. We are having a great time with Merle and Danielle Nicole from Vegas Afterlife talking paranormal here. And we're going to go to Virginia City next for the ghosts there. But first, we want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Hamartology. Hamartology is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's bring in our main man, Merle, and Danielle Nicole, owner of Vegas Afterlife. We're going to have great conversation because, Merle, you want to head to the hauntings of Virginia City near Reno, Nevada.
I do. I want to head there, and I want to head. That's where we're going, Dave. Let's go. Danielle, tell us everything about Virginia City.
Oh my goodness. That place is special. So first time I ever went there was in December of this past year. I had to go out there to meet with the people who run the Mackey Mansion because I ended up scheduling an event at the Mackey Mansion 2 weekends in a row out in Virginia City. I did 4 investigations out there for the Mackey Mansion. And so I went out there. I actually went out there on a trip with Patty Negri. Her and I went together and we investigated the Mackey Mansion together privately. And we had some really interesting experiences there. Patty actually led me through a past life regression.
Damn.
While we are in room 11 at the Silver Queen, because that's where we stayed. Let me tell you, I have a past life in Virginia City that I didn't even know about. And that's why I'm so connected to that place. And so turns out that past life revolves around the Wash-Up Club. And I had the most intense emotional, spiritual, physical experience I've ever had on an investigation ever. at the Washout Club just a few weeks ago, and I'm going back there this Friday to investigate again, to get more answers and to figure out what is going on with all this. But I can't go into too many details about it because a lot of it is very, very, very personal, involving some personal, like just people and stuff like that. So I can't go too far into details about it, but it's crazy. That city is absolutely insane. There's so many spirits there. There's so much history there. I host events at the Mackey Mansion and Piper's Opera House, and that's where I'll be investigating this weekend. I've never investigated Piper's, so this Saturday will be my first time ever investigating that building, and I've heard some really crazy stories about it. But yeah, I mean, that whole city is haunted. That whole entire city is haunted.
Piper's Opera House is the one place I haven't done there, and that's I really want to do Piper's. I tried to do it last time I was there, but we ran out of time.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I feel attached to Virginia City as well. And not last year, but the year before, I was there with my buddy Brad and a psychic, and she spent a lot of time up there too. And
Yeah.
she said that I spent time there in a previous life as well.
Yeah.
It just feels like home. Yeah, it's weird.
The visions that I was getting when Patty was leading me through this whole past life regression, because I believe in past lives. I've always believed in past lives, but I never experienced it myself, so I never really fully believed in it. It's just like with ghosts, like, you can believe in ghosts, but never really fully believe until you actually experience something. So when she put me through this, then I saw what I saw, and then experienced what I experienced at the Washoe Club the night that I investigated. It's just everything just kind of came together. I mean, the spirits in there know my name. They know my last name. They know everything about me. They're intelligently answering questions about me, telling me about what happened. And it was things that lined up with the visions that I was having. Wow. It's absolutely insane. I'm terrified of that building. I'm absolutely terrified of that building, but I love it. And I can't wait to go back on Friday to see what they have to show me again.
What makes you scared of it?
The power. There's a lot of dark stuff in there. And I don't think it's all human. I think that there's all kinds of energies that are in there beyond human. I think that there's demonic entities in there. There's elemental entities. I think there's multiple portals open within that building, if not within that whole entire city. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on, but that building itself is just the most active, the most powerful building I think I've ever investigated in my life.
I felt very, very heightened, like on alert when I investigated it.
Yes.
Me and my buddy, it was just the two of us. We rented it for the entire night, and that was crazy. I was working. Today I was working on my Washoe Club video that I'm trying to put out pretty quick here, and I was at minute 34 of editing, and I have like 5 Class A EVPs. So for our listeners, we've talked about EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon. That's when we hear a voice through our audio equipment. And I roll a pretty high-end microphone on my camera, so I hear everything. And one EVP, when you're up in the ballroom area, so this is on the second floor in the Washoe Club. It's like it looks like a big ballroom. There's an area, a long hallway you can look down to go down back to the first floor, up to the third floor. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it. Like, I feel attached to the Washoe Club too.
I have chills thinking about that hallway too.
and so Brad goes, "Did you see that?" And then I look down the hallway and I see a shadow figure, like kind of not rushing, but moving pretty quick towards us.
Yeah.
And then I get
they like to rush you in that building.
Yeah. And then I got an EVP, clear as day, saying F off. And obviously I didn't hear it when I was there, but going through my evidence, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then when I was playing poker, I get up from playing poker, like the table, because we put some of our Canadian money down. He put his American money down, but we're playing cards because there's a bunch of decks of cards on this old poker table or blackjack table. And Brad's like, "Did you see it?" And we saw like he saw a spirit kind of where the old bar is peer over to us and then go away. And then EVP kicks off on my audio, growl, like a loud, audible growl. And I'm
Yeah.
like, could it have been a dog? I'm like, absolutely not. That is 110% on my microphone right there. And
Wow.
I'm not even done. I still have about an hour and a half of footage to go through. And I don't know why I've had such a big block doing this video.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I did the Washout Club, but it is a special place. It's got some you don't feel alone in there. You feel like there's people around you walking, like you're living on a different frequency. Like
Yeah,
it's
I think there's hundreds of spirits in that building. I don't know why, but I brought my polterpod with me when I was in there, and I mean, I was getting like all kinds of voices. Like this one voice came through clear as day. He loves you. This voice came through. He loves you. So in my past life, my husband in my past life got murdered. He got shot at the Washout Club.
Wow.
And he died in my arms. So when we were sitting at the poker table, all these voices were coming through. This man's voice came through. His name was Paul, the same voice. And he was the one who had killed him. And he told me that he shot him in the head. And so this time around, when I go back, I'm going to sit in the chair that he was sitting in. Well, it was not the exact same chair, but like I'm going to sit in that chair and I'm going to try to communicate again. But I got so emotional during that investigation. I was sitting at that poker table and I just started bawling my eyes out. It was the most intense, the most emotional experience. So that place is very personal. I can't wait to go back. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'd put that in my top 5 of all the places I've been, like places that I feel really I need connected to.
Yeah.
Same with the Silver Queen. So not this year, the previous year, I've stayed in room 11 both times. Like each year I've been there. And so for our listeners, room 11 is Rose's room. And they say that Rose was a lady of the night that worked at the Silver Queen. And she passed away in that room in not a very nice way. And we had our psychic friend Anae with us. And Brad was with me again. And this wasn't even a planned investigation. Anae's like, I want to come up there and I need to do the Silver Queen. And I'm like, okay, Brad. It's like, I'll film. I'm like, this is fantastic. And so Anae comes in the room. Her eyes change and she just deadpans me. And I'm like, oh no. and she's one of the most connected ladies I've ever worked with psychically like that. Like she's dialed in. And you can just feel it on her too. And she started talking like a guy. Like her voice went a little deeper. And she was just looking at me like she was gonna knock my teeth out.
Oh, wow.
And so my hands are kind of a little up, just in a guard position in case. And so I go into asking questioning mode. And I'm trying not to be aggressive with my questions, but they sometimes come out that way. And then she switched gears and turned into a female, Rose, that was in the room, and was telling a lot of pretty accurate stuff, like rewatching the video. But then watching her like go forth and back between the guy that was looking out for Rose and some other ladies that haunt or stay in the place. And he didn't like me being in Rose's room, not because of being like a creeper or anything, but like it's her room. Nobody should be in there, especially like male energy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I never really had any experiences in that room. I had one experience. I woke up. I woke up. I've stayed in that room twice. The last time I stayed in there, I woke up and like my arm was like this up against the headboard, like almost like somebody had tied my arms to the headboard, and then my mouth was like wide open. I'm like, why did that happen? I don't know. It was weird. That was the only weird thing that happened though, because I don't sleep like that. My arm's never like that, and like with my mouth open. I don't sleep with my mouth open. Oh.
It's a weird, and Gold Hill. So Gold Hill Hotel is another place just outside of Vegas. Sorry, Virginia City. And that place would be cool to do an event at or do investigations at. And for our listeners, it's was the day one spot for ghost adventures. Like that, like where the miners died. There's a mine shaft there. And it was only me in the hotel. The hotel owner or person wasn't even staying there at nighttime. So I had that place by myself for 2 nights, and
that's great.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, I didn't feel too much stuff going on in there. It was very active.
Let's get to a few audience questions here. But first, I want to ask Danielle, how do you like investigating? Do you prefer to investigating indoors or do you like outdoor investigations?
I don't think I've ever investigated. Well, I've investigated outdoor one time. I prefer inside. I feel like it's a little bit more controlled. Outdoors a little bit, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to do.
All right. I like it. I prefer outdoors because it's one of the things that I just find fun. I find it fun. Like,
yeah, we'll be doing some outdoor stuff at Mount Wilson Ranch in April. So that'll be a fun one. Some extraterrestrial, cryptid, paranormal, all kinds of stuff.
All right. The first one coming from the Ukrainian watermelon, Ron Maniak, little Ronnie Maniak in Saskatchewan. He is asking, have you ever investigated the underground Vegas?
Definitely not. I don't want to be surrounded by people doing heroin and gonna like eat me and murder me. There's nothing paranormal down there, I'm telling you.
You'll become paranormal.
It's all homeless people and drug addicts.
Let's go to necessary dialogue. Have you ever solved any ghostly mysteries?
Not yet. Not yet.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, not yet.
I wouldn't say that I've ever solved any ghostly mysteries, but I feel like I've got answers. Like on
yeah,
some of my
definitely answers. Yeah, I've gotten answers, but I don't think I've solved anything.
Or like some clarity for clients, like when you do private investigations and stuff, where they ask you key questions and they get the answer. Yeah, something like that.
All right, let's move on to T-Bode here. What was your I know what I saw moment, Danielle?
Gosh, there's so many. Probably when I was 8 and I saw that shadow figure in the hallway. I know what I saw. Definitely was not my dad, so had to have been something spiritual. I think that kicked it off.
Here. Let's go to Paramar. Speaking of haunted objects, Merle, where are the spooky pictures that used to be behind you? That lady one was kind of creepy.
Paramarv, they are. I am not at home tonight, but next month, you'll see them. You know what? I had so many people messaging me asking me to put those photos back how they were because I had changed. I had a bunch of like those big Victorian oval glass covered photos in my living room, and I had moved them around just for fun. But a lot of the audience liked the one that Paramarv's talking about, and I moved her back. So she is back in the background for next time, for next month. You'll see it. She's creepy. They're all creepy.
Little Ronnie Maniak wants to know, has anything ever attached or residual energy on you ever passed on to or affected your child?
No.
Nope.
I keep my house extremely cleansed. I'm very, very strict with spiritual cleansing, spiritual hygiene. I don't allow anything like that in my home. That's why when that doll was in my house, I was like, I need to get this out like right now, because that was tainting the cleanliness of the energy in my home, and I don't need that around my child. So very, very strict with that.
T-Bone wants to know, you're into Victorian era stuff, Danielle. Have you ever seen or experienced ectoplasm?
On camera, yes, not physically with my own eyes.
For people who may not know what it is, who are listening in, what is ectoplasm?
I feel like it's just like accumulation of energy, spiritual energy, that just manifest.
Have you ever had to deal with attachments?
Yes.
Tell us.
I mean, in my line of work, I don't think that there's any way to really avoid it. But like I said, like with my spiritual hygiene, like I tend to address them pretty quickly. I think I had a really bad attachment in September, and I got rid of it like within 2 days. But it was so bad that I took holy water and I stuck it right here where my third eye is, and it burned, and I purged. So something was trying to latch itself onto me, and I was not letting that happen, so I got rid of it.
Where did you pick it up? What happened?
It involves that painting at the Haunted Museum, the Artemis Fractal. Yeah, it's involving that painting, so I can't go into too many details about it, but yeah, that's where it's from.
Fair.
Yeah.
Jules wants to know, what's the weirdest thing that's happened to you on, or any of your clients on a tour?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can even say. I was doing a private investigation at the escape room that I was telling you guys about earlier. So I do like investigations of this local business, and I had this. I'll do the PG version. I had the polter pod in my hand, and I'm like kneeling down, like looking at the trip wire that's on the floor, and I hear this burp come through the polter pod, and I was like, did somebody burp? And then I asked the spirit, I was like, did you just burp? And then you hear this voice come through that said, I did. So I think that was probably one of the weirdest things I've had. Yeah, I didn't know that was possible. And then I don't know. It's just they say some weird stuff sometimes, and I think that was probably the weird, funny thing that I've ever experienced on a tour.
That's
a lot of laughs from that. It's on my Instagram. If you guys want my Instagram, there's a video of it on there.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. All right, let's go to another one here, and that would be from T-Bones. Have you got aliens?
In April, I will be at Mount Wilson Ranch out in Pioche, Nevada. If you guys are familiar with Bigelow, that's where he did a lot of his experiments and research. So if you guys are into cryptids, into extraterrestrial, and you want to come on one of these crazy investigations, we will be taking over Mount Wilson Ranch in April. So if you want to buy tickets, they're on the website. You can stay on the ranch. You can either camp or you can stay in the lodge. So you have two options, but we're going to be out there.
Yeah, Merle never has aliens, ever.
What's an alien?
I've never met a guy more petrified of denying that he has seen aliens than Merle.
Satellites.
Right, Merle? I'm going to tell you every time.
Satellites. I'm kidding.
Satellites.
Quickest way to trigger an alien person. It's satellites. Anyhow, keep going.
Yeah, that'll make up for the beings that you saw on the ground with Samantha.
Fair.
Notice he goes quiet when I do that, right? He goes quiet. He's like, shut up, Dave. A paranormal guy. Total paranormal guy.
Big
All right.
ghost guy.
Danielle and Merle, we're going to get you to hold on right there, because hard to believe we are already halfway through this show. We have Ghosts of the Great White North from the Paranormal Road Trippers. We have Merle. We have Vanessa. Or Vanessa, where the hell did I get? We have Danielle Nicole from Vegas Afterlife. It's a beautiful company, paranormal tours that she does in Las Vegas. So make sure you check it on out. Wow. What a show tonight so far. I love ghost stories. I love being a part of it. I love hearing it. I love it when Merle comes in here each and every month, as he's done for the last decade, coming on in, bringing in some incredible people to talk about ghosts of the Great White North. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
All right, we are clear. There we go. Flying on by tonight, man.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
We're going to roll hard into Mackey Mansion next half hour. I got a good story for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
I almost threw in the towel. There, I'll give you a little teaser.
I was staring at your name on the screen when I called you Vanessa.
That's so weird.
Very weird. I don't know where that came from.
Well, he said maybe Vanessa was Daniel's name in that past life. So
I don't know.
Weird.
maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I channeled it. I don't know.
Oh, I'll get the answers this Friday.
That's right.
We want answers. Is there light after Vegas? No.
Holy cow, Merle. Your team won. First game of 2026.
Yeah, don't. So I can do this now. We're good
What's
now.
that?
I can do that now.
What do you think of Wayne Merleton?
That was good. That was strong. That was
Yeah?
strong.
You like that one?
Yeah.
I think of another good one here. All right, I got it. The next one's going to be extremely strong. The last one of the night is going to be extremely strong.
Knock it out of the park.
I'm looking forward to it. By the way, the period dot showed up and then disappeared as per usual.
Yeah.
Disappeared. You know, that's always fun. Way to go, period dot. Told you, he only shows up for a couple of minutes, drops in his Merle, and then he's gone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. After all we've done for him.
The dot.
The dot.
There's a lot of audience questions. I'm just catching up on the chat.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Yeah, I'm highlighting them. We got through most of them already. If you haven't already, do us a favor. It helps with the algorithms. Give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Pat Leal, how you doing? From Dallas, Texas. Here I was hoping the Canucks would have just kept losing.
Me too. At least we can make some record.
Right?
Positivity, man.
Can't wait till the other trades happen.
Yeah.
Oh, Fap says, Merle, I loved your work in the movie The Merle with the Dragon Tattoo.
That's my lower back tattoo, is a dragon tattoo. I'm totally kidding. I don't know.
Xana May, how are you? Got about a minute to go here, guys. All right. I like this one. Dave does pretty good most of the time, but there's that sometimes when he's just an idiot. Oh, thanks, Desert Rat. I know that's not what you meant, but thank you. Yeah, Merle has a tramp stamp. Yeah. It says Merle's girl on there. Louise, how are you? All right. Thank you to Necessary Dialogue and T-Bone for the super chats. Thank you, T-Bone, for gifting 5 memberships. We appreciate that. And our store is always open on our website, spacedoutradio.com. Thank you. Coming on in. Here we go, everybody. Second half of Spaced Out Radio is now kicked off. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dave Scott. We appreciate you tuning us on in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Reminder to all of you that if you missed portions of this show or others, our archives are always free on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. We continue on with our big man, Merle from the Paranormal Road Trippers. This is Ghost of the Great White North. Our special guest tonight, Danielle Nicole. She is the owner of Vegas Afterlife, a paranormal company that she has in Las Vegas, Nevada. So let's bring him on in, and thank you for being here. You wanted to get into, Merle, a quick story about Virginia City, I believe, still, and then we'll get to more audience questions. So what did you want to bring up?
Yeah, it was just related to Mackie Mansion, because I know Danielle says she does tours there or events there. So in Mackie Mansion, there's a room that has a safe in it. And one of the stories is there's a bit of a shootout in this area. Because people tried to rob the safe. And my buddy that I was with, so we rented Mackie Mansion for like the 5 hours or whatever you're allowed to do at nighttime. And it was just the two of us. And my friend, he had to go make a business call. Well, something to do with work. He had to leave for about 25 minutes at in nighttime. And I'm alone in Mackie Mansion. And I'm like, this is going to be like a horror movie now. I'm alone in this bucket list place, but I'm like, let's try and make the best of it. So I get the fortitude to go investigate and push myself out of a corner to go do my thing. So I started a session in the safe room, and I was just doing basic EVP questions, and I have the spirit candle from Ghost Out, and it was going off to everything I was asking, yes, no, yes, and no. But what scared me, and I've heard stories about this, and and just talking to people that have investigated it, maybe you can chime in if it's happened to you. There is, when I was in there, the door kind of started to shut, but I also felt rushed. And then I don't get this often, but I had sheer panic for a moment that something bad was going to happen to me. And I have it all on film. I just had my iPhone in my hand because Brad was using a camera, and I was just kind of doing a POV. And you hear all of my dialogue and this all play out. But then I kind of took a break for a moment, and I felt I couldn't even go into the living room where there's a post-mortem photo of the old maid that worked there. and all that, because I felt extremely overwhelmed to be there. I felt like I wasn't wanted, or they were on high alert, because maybe I was in this, the spirits were on high alert, because maybe it's because I was in the safe room, or
Yeah.
why I was alone in there, so it could have been suspect of like a burglar. And I thank the gods Brad came back and it was business as usual, but I still felt really apprehensive for most of the night.
Mhm. Yeah, I've never really had anything bad like that, like bad feelings or anything in that place. So I wonder what that was. I've always had good experiences in there. Interesting.
The rest was great. It was just I was alone.
Yeah, no, I've never been in there alone, so I don't know. I'm really good friends with Dawn, the lady who manages the place, and she's in there by herself all the time. So they're so used to it though, because they're always, her family is always around it.
They're great people. They've always been
Yeah,
really nice to me.
yeah, I love Dawn. So I don't know. That's interesting.
All right,
Never
Dave.
met him. Never
No?
met him.
You should.
You never invite me anywhere. That's
Next
kind
time.
of the running joke that Merle and I have, is he goes on all these investigations and then never brings me. I'm the low man on the totem pole. All right, let's get to a few more audience questions here. Let's start off with necessary dialogue. Danielle, have you ever had a ghost play a joke on you?
Yeah, actually at the Mackey Mansion. I was in there with my friend Allie. She's kind of like my assistant. She comes with me on all my investigations, and she comes up behind me. I have the polter pot in my hand, and I'm like walking into the front office room of the Mackey Mansion from the parlor. And I'm in the doorway. I'm like talking to some spirit on the polter pot, and she comes up behind me and taps me, but I hear a voice come through the polter pod say "boo," and we both scream. And I don't know, I feel like it was like playing with us, because it knew that like we were gonna like freak out when it said "boo," and it did. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that was kind of a joke that it played on me. Having a ghost say "boo."
All right, let's move on. Let's go to Jose here. Have you ever seen a solid shadow person before?
Yes, many times. Specifically when I was like 8 years old and I saw that in the hallway. That was the most like one that
How about
stuck.
you? How about you, Merle?
I saw a shadow figure in the house I'm at right now. To be gross. Why do I even want to talk about this now? But so this was a couple months ago. I talked to a psychic about this too, actually, last week. Now that we're talking about this, so fast forward a couple months ago, I'm in like it's like a 3-story townhouse, and I'm on the main floor right now. But I went downstairs to go grab something, and Mr. Ghost Hunter, been to a few places and over my time, and I don't scare easy anymore. But I went down the stairs and I stopped in my tracks, and I felt so much fear that I had to absolutely withdraw from where I was and like come upstairs. And there was like a shadowy thing down there, and I talked to a psychic about this last week, like I said, and they said that there's a caretaker spirit that looks over the townhouses, like this complex, and kind of checks in. And there's 3 cats where I am right now, and they like the cats, so they check on the cats. And yeah, that's kind of creepy now that we're talking about it and I'm in the dark room. But yeah, so yes.
Nothing creepy about that, Merle.
Oh,
Nothing creepy about that. But it happens. It does happen. All right. Let's see. Besides ghosts, Jose wants to know, have you ever seen a cryptid, Danielle?
I have not seen one. I've heard one. I heard a skinwalker. So
tell us that story.
Yes.
it was actually the first time that me and my friend Allie ever hung out. I was like we were going to go to this like haunted pet cemetery, but ended up not going out there because it was like in the summertime and I was afraid that there were going to be snakes out there. So we ended up driving to the entrance to the Lake Mead Railroad tunnels. And that place is known to have all kinds of like skinwalker activity, aliens, like whatever. So we're sitting in my car and we don't even get out of the car. We're literally sitting in my car in the parking lot to the trail that goes to the railroad tunnels. And I turn the spirit box on in my car and we hear this like, I can't even explain what it sounds like, but it was like this like skinwalker scream sound. I've never heard anything like it before. And her and I looked at each other and we just screamed, and like I tossed the spirit box into my backseat. I didn't even care what was going on. I just floored my car out of that parking lot as fast as I could because there was something that was about to come out and do something crazy. And she told me that she was afraid to look out the windows because she didn't know what she was going to see. But I 100% believe that it was a skinwalker. But I've never seen one, so I don't want to. I really don't. I don't want to see a cryptid.
I don't want to deal with a skinwalker. I may have had one instance with that earlier in 2025 with my buddy Tim and I, where we were out at our investigative site and hearing this monotone woman's voice in the middle of the forest where there are no other humans around saying, "Help me, I'm over here." And it was loud enough for us to hear it, but quiet enough our microphones couldn't pick it up. And then it changed. Then it changed right before it changed to a man's voice. She went, "Help me, I love you. I'm over here."
That's so scary.
And I looked at Tim and I said, "We're not going over there. If we go over there, we're dead. We're never going to be seen again. This is where like David Paulides missing 411 stuff happened." And then it changed to a man's voice of, "Help us. We're over here. Can you help us?"
What were you using, a spirit box?
I'm sorry?
What were you using, a spirit box?
Our ears
You heard that with your ears.
in the forest, yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's terrifying.
I would take, and I don't mean to sound braggadocious here, but Merle will know what I'm talking about. Any scary spot you have been to, this place will double it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty creepy.
What is it a ranch or like what is it?
No, it's in the middle of a forest where there was a plane crash in 1965.
Okay.
And so there's 52 souls on board the plane.
Okay.
And that area, since the first time we've ever been there, Merle and I were there in 2018, we have had Sasquatch activity, paranormal activity, UFO activity, alien activity. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 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 Merle gets scared there quite a bit.
I would too.
Mm-hmm.
From curiosity that killed the cat, I will follow the voice to see what it is. I need to know.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
There's a difference between a need to know and when you're in the middle of the forest and hear someone doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if it was in a house, I would go look at it. Go look for it. Why not? Not in the forest, man. Not in the forest. Let's go to another question here. Let's go to Matthew, who is asking, what and how do you cleanse, Danielle?
I mean, what I cleanse my house. I cleanse myself. How do I do it? I am a very big believer in Palo Santo. I am constantly cleansing with Palo Santo every single day, every night before I go to bed. I cleanse. I just, put it around me, think positive thoughts, bring in positive energy, push out any sort of negative energy. Usually if I do an investigation, sometimes I slack and sometimes I don't cleanse. I will be honest, but there are nights where I do have a lot of stuff happen and I'm like, I need to do this before I go home. So I'll cleanse before I get home. I'll cleanse outside of my house. I also leave salt barriers outside of my doorways. And yeah, I don't allow any negative energy into my home.
Do you cleanse your equipment?
I don't.
No.
And there's a reason for that. I want my equipment to have stuff going on because for my tours, it helps get more activity. It helps activate things a little bit more. I like I said, I have a Ouija board in my car. It doesn't come out of my car. And the
That's
reason
awesome.
for that is because I've opened up multiple portals through this board and I will not bring it in my house. So I just drive around with a bunch of portals in my car.
Why not? Yeah.
Hey, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Exactly. As long as nobody's getting hurt, that's all that matters.
All that matters. Let's get to another question here. Let's go to T-Bone. Yes, those are Ouija boards on Danielle's wall. How many Ouija boards do you have?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have one in my car. And then there's one downstairs on my coffee table. So I have 7.
How do you like them?
Ouija board.
How do I like using them?
Yes.
I love using them. I've gotten a lot of intelligent responses from them. They are dangerous. They are definitely dangerous. I would not recommend anybody just use them if you don't have any sort of knowledge on how to open or close them properly. You can open up portals and bring things in that you shouldn't be bringing in. And if you don't close it properly, those things can continue coming in. So, I mean, like I said, the Ouija board that's in my car, I just leave the portals open on it. Because when I bring it to the investigations, I like to unleash whatever's coming through those portals. As crazy as that sounds, but unleash the demons.
I mean, people want a response, right?
Hey, you want activity, you want action, I got that. So
All right, let's go to Jules here. Poltergeist activity. What and where have you experienced, if any?
I don't know, honestly. I don't get I wouldn't say I get a ton of poltergeist activity. I at the escape room, I was telling you guys earlier that they had a key that flew off the wall. They got it on their security camera, but besides that, I haven't personally really gotten a lot of poltergeist activity. Besides my garage door opening by itself. And also I did see somebody make a comment about airplanes being able to set off garage doors, but I've lived in this house for almost 2 years. If the airplanes were setting off garage doors, that would have happened before. It's never happened before. And it's such a coincidence that it happened when that doll was in the house. So I guess you could say the garage door opening and closing by itself would be poltergeist activity.
All right, let's go to another one. Let's go. Oh, maybe we're caught up. We are caught up on the questions, Merle. We're caught up.
That was good. There's a lot of questions tonight. I love a good question.
Good question. Good questions. What do you stay away from when it comes to the paranormal?
I don't know. I like all of it. I think usually when I'm doing an investigation and I have I know I said unleash demons, but I'm not literally. If I have anything come up that involves anything demonic, I close it down real quick. I like to say that I'm interested in interacting with that sort of thing, but in reality, I don't want to mess with that stuff. I've seen the things that stuff can do to people, and I don't want to deal with it. So I've had dark things like that come through, the polter pod and the paranormal puck and that sort of thing. And I leave the room if any of that stuff starts coming through, and I kind of just reevaluate everything and, come back in with more positive energy. But yeah,
I shut down. We were filming up actually in Dave's neck of the woods at a place called 108 Mile Ranch, which we talk about quite often. But I was filming it. In our video, I have a spirit chat. It's essentially the UK's version of an ovulus, and it spelt out a demon's name. I've been investigating since about 1997, 98. I've never dealt with demons. I've dealt with
Mhm.
malevolent or annoyed,
It's
cranky,
very
darker
rare.
spirit.
Yeah.
But as soon as this name came through, I actually my phone was on airplane mode, took it off airplane mode, and typed in the name, and it was basically a Jewish demon of your dreams, essentially like Freddy Krueger.
Mhm.
And as soon as that came up, I'm like, we're done. And we shut the investigation, respectfully shut the investigation down, because that was a hornet's nest we don't want to push for the
No.
respect of the property, the people that run the property, and for the spirits that inhabit the property. Like, that's stuff I don't want to deal with.
Yeah, and most of the investigations I do, I don't use the Ouija board. There's a few locations that I do, but most of the locations I like to respect and not bring that. But there's also a lot of places that do not allow them. So, um, I'm very mindful of where I do bring that stuff out and where I don't bring that stuff out.
Yeah. I like to do it like I do events. Like I said earlier, I think it was off the show. Like, I collect Ouija boards, and I've used my 1881 board. Nothing. It was a dead board. Like, I
Mhm.
guess somebody probably closed it at some point in the
Yeah.
past. Like, closed it. And then I bought a 1912 Ouija board in Washington on my way to Spokane. And going to my friend's house. They live in a beautiful Victorian house, hella haunted. And I'm like, oh yes, look at this old Ouija board. We're gonna put it on their old table. We're gonna have a big Victorian night, and crickets. And then I
Wow.
take out like my 1992 Ouija board, and that thing just works every
Started.
time. Every time.
Yep. All of mine work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find you get different reactions from different boards, Merle?
Yeah, I think I could say some are more vocal than the others.
Yeah.
There's one that's in my case that's been to basically every location I've ever been to. So I think maybe it has a little bit of the energy from everywhere I've been. The energy, and it's I call it my daily driver board, and and everyone any event I've done or whatever, this is the board I'll take out to use, because I don't care if it's roughhoused on. My collector ones, if you roughhouse it, I'll roughhouse you. Like, don't break my boards. And so I feel that this board in particular has so much energy in it that, yeah, I think if you don't get a reaction out of it, you're doing something wrong. but then, like, there's I don't use a lot of my boards. I never, because I don't use them at home. I won't investigate my personal space. I've learned that lesson in the past. I won't do it again. But that being said, yeah, I'd say 3 of the 12 I own work. The others are untested. And my favorite, most rare one just is a wall hanger, I call it now. But yeah.
We have about a minute and 45 left with both of you tonight. Merle, it's always a pleasure to have you on SOR. And of course, Danielle, if you could tell us about where we can find Vegas Afterlife and what you offer.
Yeah, you can find me on my Instagram. It's Vegas Afterlife. That's just a screen name. And then you can follow me on my personal Instagram. It's Tantra, but instead of A's, it's V. So it's TVNTRV_official. Or you can find me on my website. It's www.vegasafterlife.com. And you can see where all of our future events are. We will be, like I said, Mount Wilson Ranch in April, Benson Gristmill in March, and we will be doing various events throughout this year. So definitely come check us out.
And Merle, where can everybody find the Paranormal Road Trippers?
You can find me on Instagram, the Paranormal Road Trippers, YouTube, the Paranormal Road Trippers. We have a website, Dave, theparanormalroadtrippers.com, and Facebook. We're very accessible, mostly on Instagram.
And you know what, Merle, we can't leave you without saying congratulations to you. You had a video go viral with over 1.3 million views, which is large for a paranormal video. It very
1.5
much is.
now. Yeah.
And so
it's exciting.
congratulations on that, my friend.
Yeah. And that was in your backyard, the ranch.
It was. It was. And that's what we love about it. This is Ghost of the Great White North. We will talk to our main man, Merle, next month. Coming up in hour number 3 on Spaced Out Radio, we're going to go and talk to Swamp Dweller. And then right after the swamp, it's time for the mustached Terry Hall with the weird news of the week.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
All right, guys, we are clear. Appreciate you guys coming on in. Thank you very much. And Danielle, well, hopefully we can meet you in May.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, send me a message. I'll be here. So we'll be doing some stuff out here. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Absolutely. What do you think of Elvis Presley?
That was a strong name.
Strong. Totally strong. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Elvis Presley. Amazing. All right. That's Ghost of the Great White North. I'll be right back. All right. Let's bring in little Terry Hall. How you doing, buddy?
Good evening. How are you this evening? I'm doing well.
Oh, your hair's looking good. The mustache is looking beautiful.
It's funny how that's the only hair left on my head that's any color. Like all the rest of it
I'm
is
the
white.
same way.
I get out in the sunshine and my kids got to put their sunglasses on. The sun just reflects off my head, you know? How you doing this evening, Dave? You doing okay?
I'm doing great tonight, man. Really am doing great tonight.
That was interesting. I mean, when you guys talk about the spooks and the stuff like that, that kind of freaks me out. It does, but it doesn't. Because I mean, it kind of gives me hope that there's something else out there. But man, I hope I don't get stuck here for some reason or the other. I mean, would that be purgatory?
It could be. It could be. All right. I'm just getting ready here. All right. We want to say thank you to T-Bone for the 5 gifted memberships, the super chat, and Necessary Dialogue for a super chat as well. So thank you very, very much. And here we go. We have the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio going on tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for tuning us on in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. It is Harmatology. Harmatology is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers. As the Clam says the password each and every night, right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's head to the swamp.
Hello and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Swamp. I'm Swamp Dweller, and tonight I'm going to take you on a mystic journey of the unknown, sharing tales of monsters, legends, and nightmares. Welcome to the Spaced Out Radio Swamp. When I was 8, my best friend invited me to go with her camping along with her family. We've lived on the same street and still do to this day, and have known each other since we were like 2 years old or something. Desperate to get out of the house, I decided to go along. We arrived at camp around 10 at night and thought it'd be fun to try to scare people. We hid in the bushes and would jump out scaring, but also making people laugh at how cute we were for doing so. This continued until we tried to scare an older gentleman who only reacted to us with a creepy, almost pervy-like smile. This scared us and we stopped scaring people right then and there. It was dark, but the older man appeared to be white and in his 40s. He was a medium build and smelled of cigarettes and whiskey. Keep in mind, this was a few years ago, so my memory isn't perfect. The man told us before we left that we shouldn't scare people because it's naughty. More disturbing was that he smiled while saying it the entire time, at which point my friend, we'll call her Faith, apologized and both ran from the man. The following day was normal until sunset when we heard someone up on the hill say, "Yoo!" Looking up, I saw no one initially and immediately yelled it back. That was when I saw the man from the night before, heading down the hill towards us. I had such a good day at this point. I wasn't afraid and waited for the man to come down. This was when the man asked where our parents were. Faith told him they were at the campsite. The man gave a creepy smile and said he should walk us back as it was getting late, at which point we shot down the offer, saying it was pretty far. The man then insisted, saying he had kids and they had bikes we could borrow back at his campsite. I wanted to run at this point, but I didn't want to offend the guy, and so we followed him right up until we arrived at the campsite and realized there were no kids or bikes in sight. This was an obvious red flag. The man told us to wait here while he gets something from his trailer, at which point he went inside. Afraid, I tell Faith we can't outrun him, so we need to hide. We immediately dart over to some bushes and do just that. The man comes out of his trailer, and when he does, he isn't holding a bike. He is holding a roll of duct tape in his hands. This terrified us. I'd seen too many crime shows where people get murdered from doing stupid things like we just did. The man who previously had a creepy grin now was scowling in rage and looked for Faith and I. He does this for quite a while before giving up and going inside. The instant the man went inside his trailer, we turned and ran. We didn't stop until we got back to our campsite. When we finally arrived, we were exhausted and went to sleep, too afraid to tell Faith's parents anything. We eventually brought it up a couple days later, but nothing came of it except for the reoccurring nightmares I have to this day.
Thank you, Swamp Dweller, for another creepy story. If you want more just like that, head on over to YouTube, type in Swamp Dweller, hit subscribe, ring that bell. We got thousands of stories for you just like that. From the swamp to wherever we go, because it is the Weird News of the Week, we bring in our good friend Terry Hall and his gorgeous mustache for tonight.
Good evening.
Terry Hall, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am doing absolutely great. I've had a good day. I'm, trying to put things together. I got a lot of projects coming up here off of Spaced Out Radio that involve the paranormal and supernatural, like CaribouCon.com for our conference that we're going to be having in September up here in 108 Mile Ranch, British Columbia. Everyone is invited to go get tickets at CaribouCon.com. So it's been a good day.
Always doing something, aren't you? Always doing something.
Trying. Gotta try and do something here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the scene, I thought that this was going to be just another one of those stories, headlines, as we run across. And this one's about, it was a story that was released in the UK about the Bank of England. Have you heard about it?
You know what? For a lot of people, fill us in.
Okay. It was written by a writer. Her name is Helen McCaw. And it was about the breakdown of the stock markets and the market in general and society upon the release or the disclosure of aliens. And what I thought was just starting off just to be another story in a paper about a what if, this turned out to be a little bit deeper. I mean, you know how you get those initial releases and they're everywhere, but then after a couple of days, after you get the chance to look into something, you can find out that there's a lot more behind it. So the story originated from a report from a white paper that Helen McCaw did for the Soul Foundation in May of 2024. So this story goes back quite a while. Well, in May of 2024 is when the Vatican advised the bishops and cardinals to treat aliens like God created them. At the same time, the UK government, the Innovation for Tech and Science Foundation, got approval, a big approval, for funding for radio astronomy, advanced signal processing, and funding for no other than SETI. And at the same time, as a matter of fact, this year in October of 2025, SETI had actually updated its protocols in the search for aliens. Now it's not just radio signals anymore. It's radio signals, techno signatures. They've actually, for the first time in 15 years, updated everything. Now, this goes back to Helen McCaw relating this back to the United States government, saying that this is all planned and we're about halfway through the government's plan for disclosure. So, what turned out, what I thought, Dave, was just going to be another headline, goes a lot deeper than I thought to begin with.
Yeah, and it coincides with Mark Christopher Lee saying his sources in Washington, D.C. He's a UK documentarian on this subject, that his sources in Washington, D.C. were literally telling him that the president already has a speech ready to go on July 8th for announcing that there is some sort of ET contact that will be announced. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know. It also seems to coincide with the World Cup of Soccer that will be taking place in both Canada and the United States. So it's very interesting to see how this is going to play out, because usually when people call these things, Terry, more so on the dates, they never come to fruition. But it does make sense that if this article about the UK bank actually making these statements, it goes back to when I interviewed Lou Elizondo a few years ago, when he said, that during the pandemic, there were a lot of people watching how people were treating people and the mass panic that was caused. Let's face it, there was never a shortage of toilet paper. This came out of the blue. People were panicking about toilet paper for no reason. People were panicking about milk for no reason, that all of a sudden the cows would stop, creating milk. Farmers don't stop for anything. You know what I'm saying, Terry? Farmers
I do.
don't stop for anything. That we were going to run out of meat, that we were going to run out of all of this stuff. And they watched it happen. And I remember talking to Elizondo. I said, was this a litmus test? He goes, yeah, and humanity failed. Which is exactly what the lady from the Bank of the UK was saying.
Yep. And we can get a lot deeper to that on that one. But this whole thing, it seems to me like it wasn't just, of course, the bank saying something grabs the populace because, that's their money. But it seems to me like with all the other things that happened with the Vatican, the UK government, the whole science part of the UK government, all kind of bracing for something that's actually coming to fruition. So, yeah, I mean, for the first time, like I said, the first time in 15 years in October 25, even the International Asteroid Warning Network, they were talking more about the 3-Eye Atlas thing, which goes even, it even ties into all of this. So, funding for SETI, advanced signal processing, funding for radio astronomy from the UK government, we never hear about that. And it even ties into contact with other countries, because now it's not just the UK. The latest is Japan also had a release of the same information.
Let's move on to another story here, because this is also, UFO related. Actually, no, let's have some fun and then we'll get into the UFO one. Would you prefer fun or another UFO one? I'll leave it up to you, Terry.
Well, let's go fun because there's another fun one too.
All right. You know the company Lululemon, the clothing company? They're based out of Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here is something. They went through this a number of years ago, okay? But apparently it's hitting again because Lululemon had to halt online sales of their new leggings line in the US after customers complained the fabric was see-through. Yeah, the athletic apparel company said in a statement that temporarily it's pausing online sales in North America of its Get Low leggings collection to better understand some initial guest feedback and support with product education. Our Get Low collection is designed to support our guests. I hate it when companies come up with this guests. They're purchasers. They're not your guests.
Customers, clients.
Oh my God. It's horrible. Like, let's just get to it. Okay. Anyways, apparently that the seamless technology provides a nice sculpted look, which means it's going to give you a nice looking butt. Okay. And feel weightless, fast drying fabric. Well, apparently we expect to bring the collection back to our North American e-commerce channel soon and the collection to be available in markets. So in other words, what they're saying is we're not selling them because they look more like pantyhose than they do actual pants. And what we're going to do here is we're going to make them a little bit thicker before actually selling them again.
Well, I guess Lululemon doesn't have a beta testing team, Dave.
You would think a multi-billion-dollar company like that would actually have people try and actually try these on. You think they might have some models that would try these on, to make sure that they weren't see-through?
At least,
I don't know. Maybe that's just me thinking about that. How about you?
Well, I mean, at least get a Sharpie and darken certain places on a mannequin if you're not going to use people. And take it out in the sunshine. Don't just sit in a boardroom with it. Fast wicking removal. Lululemon is just overpriced leggings as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the last thing that I want to be doing, I don't know what's worse, okay, is when you see men wearing Lululemon pants. Maybe I'm a little too emasculated, not in touch with my feminine side enough, okay? But I don't think any man should be wearing Lululemon pants. I just don't. And we know with these pants that we're not talking about men.
Well,
we're talking about the ladies.
That's the assumption, anyway.
They're guests. Pardon me. They're guests. Not their purchasers, not their clients. They're guests. We are so afraid these days, or companies are so afraid these days, to look unimportant and not changing with the times, that they end up making it look stupid. Okay? Really. I was looking at a car lot website the other day. You know what they called their salespeople? They're not salespeople. They didn't call them salespeople. They called them product leaders. Product leaders.
I've heard of loss leaders for a store before, but I don't think I've ever heard of a sales associate being referred to as a product leader. Now that's
you sell cars, okay? You sell cars. Companies, if you're listening, get rid of the stupid names and the stupid titles. Okay? If you're a car salesman, you're a car salesman. If you're a car saleswoman, you're a car saleswoman. If you're a car salesperson, you're a car salesperson. Okay? But we keep trying to make things more important than what they are. Like if you go look for something luxury, all the managers, they're not managers anymore. They have some other silly title.
Oh, well, take me for instance. I'm a security specialist and expert, but basically what I do is put together security systems for people's houses, cameras and stuff. But no, you got to put that, mark of confidence on it when you're selling security stuff. I'm a security expert, Dave.
Oh, it drives me nuts. That just picks my hide. They're not your guests. They're your clientele. UAP, Squatch. Let's just get into it. Oh my goodness.
Now, Squatch, I don't mind Squatch.
Ah,
I've been around enough people who do, the whole Sasquatch thing, especially in Utah. Utah, a lot of people say Squatch, but it's not. They're just abbreviating because they talk about it so often. That's all.
drives me nuts.
UAP, that's another thing. That's just a government-friendly term.
Yeah.
That old heads like us just won't ever get acclimated to, but it is effective though in its own realm. Sales and marketing, they had to relabel it somehow to make it user friendly in government speak, I guess.
All right, I got one here for you. How would you feel about this, Terry? As we got about 3 minutes to go before the break. How would you feel about this, that, your loved one has passed away? Okay. Nothing you can do about it. So the hearse comes in before going to the cemetery or going for cremation or whatever. And they pull in, you watch them pull into a McDonald's drive-thru with the casket in the windows, everybody can see. And here's a hearse. And I realize that a lot of people in these types of jobs, they get numb to the situation. They get numb to the job. You have to. Like if you're a paramedic, I could never be a paramedic or a cop or a firefighter, because I couldn't handle being in certain situations. I couldn't work with bodies all day at a funeral home because it's just not me. Death scares me, right? But I could just imagine what it would be like if all of a sudden, let's say, they're transporting my loved one over, from one place to another in the casket, got the flowers on top, and they decide to pull through the McDonald's drive-thru. This actually happened. Where it happened in Australia, actually, where apparently before you go to the grave, these guys will go and say, okay, well, let's just go get a McFlurry or something like that, because you can't ask for an ice cream cone. The machines never work. Okay. So yeah, apparently there was this hearse and it's making news that had the casket with all the flowers on top, and it's approaching the drive-thru to place an order.
David,
and it's gone viral.
Something about myself.
I
just discovered something about myself, Dave.
What's that?
I'm going to meet Lucifer in the afterlife because I can actually find humor in this. Can you imagine if the entire funeral procession went through the drive-thru right behind the hearse?
So the video, which you could look up, it has over 1 million views. Okay, called McDonald's with a coffin in the back is wild. Okay, and it's unclear if the McDonald's run was because the driver wanted a bite to eat, or if this was the final wish for the deceased being transported. While it might be a sight that wouldn't be anticipated by many of us, it's actually more common than you might think in the funeral industry. Comments left on the video prove how a stop at the fast food joint before a funeral isn't that far-fetched. A former McDonald's manager offered insights. I had a funeral home call my store on more than one occasion, notifying us that they would be coming through in a hearse, family's wishes for the deceased's last coffee run. Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, I can also see becoming, just like you said, numb to the whole thing. if I mean, it would be kind of hard to understand if the funeral procession was behind this, but
Yep. Terry Hall and the weird news of the week continues on Spaced Out Radio right after the break.
This is Spaced Out Radio, and your host, Dave Scott.
All right, we're clear. Hi to John's house. Welcome to SOR chat. Smokes a lot. How you doing? Shaq Valet. Nice to see you. I think it's funny.
this was a good ghost story too, Dave.
I'll just
Hey,
hold on to it. Hold on to it till we come back.
I wonder what old Trump's gonna think of this one.
All right. You have a good day today, buddy?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to leave work a bit early today, and today, I mean, for the last week or so, the weather's just been stunning down here. It's cold at night, not like north up where you're at cold. And the days have just been sunny and gorgeous.
That's awesome.
My dogs get depressed in the winter, but over this last week, they've just been joyous little fur balls. So it's been great. You get to go. The thing is, Dave, I'm an empty nester now here at home. All the
Yes.
kids are grown; they're all out of the house, and you guys are telling me all the stories about what your kids do, and my daughter, my youngest daughter, actually just granted us with a grandchild, and man, I didn't think you could get baby hungry at 60, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too old to start this stuff over again. But when you look at those little fingers and little toes, it becomes really tempting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't
You
know, man. I think I'm one of those like you, our generation. We started off with steel skateboards and stuff, and now we're with all this technology. So we've really we've watched it change, but we haven't had to grow up in it. My oldest son was in the middle, kind of developing into this stuff, but I can't imagine what kind of world my grandson is going to live in.
kind of weird, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm just hoping for the best.
You'll be good.
I'm hoping the reason that the aliens aren't making themselves present in, front and center now is because we're getting ready to fix them to do something really stupid.
2 minutes.
Ben from Oz. I think you'll like this one because it's a pirate ghosty story. It's cool.
Yeah, it's been a fun show tonight, man. Blue Cruz, how you doing?
That's another thing about it, man. You not only do you go looking for Bigfoot, but you go chasing ghosts. Dude, I've had, all about the hitchhiker, and
Yes.
that's why I'm so backed off about that kind of stuff, because it can have very, 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 very long lasting negative effects, not just to you, but the people around you too. And it's something that you don't play with lightly. You shouldn't play with it at all.
Are we playing with any of the stuff we do, though?
That's the whole hard part about this kind of subject that we're in anyway, is just the only way that you can learn about it is the hard knock education, and it's rough.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, brother. We're coming back in 30 seconds. Thank you to T-Bone for your generosity tonight with the super chat, the gifting of the memberships. Thank you to Necessary Dialogue for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Our store is always open on our website, people. Spacedoutradio.com. Make sure you check it on out. Why? We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. So make sure you check it on out. Find something you like. Promise you, it'll be good. It will be good. Here we go, Terry. We are into the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for tuning us in as we bring in Terry Hall for the weird news of the week. Reminder to all of you that if you've missed most of this show or others, our podcast audience is always free on YouTube or any major podcast network. Check out our website, spacedoutradio.com, and follow us on X if you haven't already at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. He's Terry Hall. I'm Dave Scott. This is the weird news of the week. And Terry, what do you got for us?
Well, in Colombia, for the longest time, and around Cartagena, were these ghost stories about a pirate ghost ship that it was a Spanish galleon sunk, I think it was in 1780. 64 galleon named the San Jose. Well, as it turned out, it's the first, it's like the holy grail of shipwrecks, and they've started recovering treasure off of it. So the ghost stories that tie into this have proven out to be true, Dave. They're actually pulling stuff off this ship, and they're supposed to be $20 billion worth of treasure on this ship.
My.
They've already recovered cannons. It was a 64-gun galleon. They've recovered porcelain, and they've recovered big chunks of gold and pieces of eight.
I wonder if that gold or anything is going to be cursed.
Well, it was sunk by the British Empire back in those days. But it kind of makes you wonder with that one, because of all the ghost stories that tie into it, that why were there so many ghosts there? Were they there to protect the treasure, and so it's going to be cursed when they pull it back? That's a good question. I don't know. Being around you and dealing with stuff around you, David, always turns into some kind of spooky, ghosty something.
Oh, yes. Just continue to blame me for it. Continue to blame me for it.
Well, can you imagine this? Can you imagine being the staff, and you're talking about hearse? Now, this one goes to a good one. A dead Thai woman was sent to a crematorium and woke up in her coffin.
No.
A woman brought into the crematorium at the Thai temple was found alive in her coffin. Now, maybe if they would have stopped at McDonald's on the way there, she would have knocked loud enough. They would have heard her before they got her there to burn her up. What do you think about that one?
That just, I'll be honest with you, that literally scares the daylights out of me. Literally scares the daylights out of me. I don't even want to think about that, because I would be the person, literally, okay, that would probably be put into the oven to cook while I'm like, hey guys, like I'm still alive here, man. Still
You
alive.
remember the movie Phantasm?
Yes.
Do you remember that scene in Phantasm where he wakes up in a coffin and he's in the crematorium and he's being burned alive? That movie freaked me out when I was a kid when I saw that movie, man.
Right. Yeah.
But now,
Not a fan of thinking about that. Hey,
do you want to
to
go with a fun one or do you want to go with the UFO one?
let's go with the UFO one, because one of the big stories that happened, in the last couple of days is the UFO hearings on Washington, D.C.'s National Press Gallery, where James Fox, movie director, brought in a bunch of scientists. Some of them could not make it with these travel visas to the United States on the Varginha, Brazil case of alien contact and everything like that. And it really was a giant story that happened. News Nation covered the story quite well. They covered it on their YouTube channel, which I do want to get into a little bit of a tangent on that. But they went through the scientists and claimed that they tested DNA from an alien that touched one of the soldiers. A soldier ended up dying from some sort of like radiation poisoning from this creature. They apparently have bodies that were shipped to the United States, and it was a big deal, man. It brought the UFO topic back to another, foreground in publicity. What was your thoughts, Terry?
James Fox, when you watch him do his interviews, he's really sold on the whole subject. I mean, he's heart and soul into this. Now, The Moment of Contact, the movie that you're talking about, has been released prior. This is a recut to it. And when it comes to this one, once again, right up to about a week before the press conference happened, he didn't even know if it was going to happen or not. And it was it got side railed at every chance. He had 6 different witnesses he was trying to get their visas cleared to bring into the United States, and they all got denied, all at the same time, basically. The doctor that they're speaking of is the head of neurosurgery at that hospital in Virginia. The head of neurosurgery. He's not just an ER doctor or some low-level say nothing nobody. He's like a muckety muck at that hospital. So he's really gone the extra mile it's a rehashing of the same story. Don't get me wrong. It's still stories by people about something that they don't, you would think or you would hope that with it being in a hospital that they'd have x-rays or pictures or something, but those still haven't came out. More information came out about a military United States military aircraft that went there as a large one. So there's supposed to be logs or something behind that too. So it's the same story that keeps getting added to. And I don't know if I've got a problem with that or not. It just, if you're going to release it to the public, why do you have to repackage it and repackage your movie and put it back out again?
Well, I think it was more about not just about his film, but it was about trying to bring this subject together in Washington, D.C. And, at the end of this conference, it was Representative Eric Burleson who stood up and said that people need to contact their Congress members to demand disclosure and transparency regarding UAPs. Calls for reform about how the disclosure channels work. I mean, obviously that's pointed at Arrow and their controversy. But here's one thing that I want to put out there as someone who just sits back and observes. Here's what I didn't like about the conference. I like James Fox. I've talked to him on the phone before. Nice guy, treated me well. I know friends of James who say that he's just completely a nice guy. Okay. But this is where I don't like a lot of these people in this field, is on the business side of everything. It doesn't matter, Terry, if we go back to the Stars Academy or the Soul Foundation or whatever UFO group, Skywatcher, or even director Dan Farah with Age of Disclosure, or even James Fox with putting on this presentation. They allowed News Nation to cover the story live. They had other media people there, but they did not carry a signal for anybody in the UFO community to cover the story. We would have ran it on our YouTube channel. Why wouldn't we? That's UFO news right there. And this is what I've been able to talk about. And I mentioned this a little bit briefly the other night. And I talked to one of James Fox's good friends about it today. What bugs me about a lot of these people is they want everybody in the UFO world to spend their money on this, to support their cause, to support their documentary, to support their group, but they don't do any favors for the UFO community. They will not go on talk shows. They will not go on radio shows. They will not go on certain podcasts that are out there or YouTube channels. You know, they're not going to go on a channel that has, say, 1,500 subscribers. They're only going to, you have to have, for a lot of these guys, you have to have a minimum couple 100,000 subscribers plus in order for them to come on. And they have no problem taking your money for their project because they know the UFO community, without giving back, is so passionate about this subject and getting it spread out that they're going to do it for free. The UFO community is going to spend money with Netflix or Amazon. Okay? So a lot of these people feel that they can treat publicly the UFO community like crap because the UFO community doesn't care. They're going to support it anyways. Now, I'm not saying that's the attitude of James Fox, but why would you not, if you have this couple million strong of people who believe in this subject, who have UFO channels all over the world, why would you not say, hey guys, hey media outlets, hey YouTube channels, if you want, you can carry this for free on your channel. Here's the band to get to it, the bandwidth to get to it, or the signal, or the, you know, if they're putting it on StreamYard, the link, or whatever it may be. And you can carry this on your channel for free. You know how many more people would see that, Terry?
Well, Dave, when you reach a certain status, I would guess, I guess is the term we could use in this. We'll just go back to the old saying. All souls are start out the same, but we're all not all marketed the same. Since we're talking about salespeople, right? When you get to a certain status in this thing, it's like you start snubbing people, and I've seen it happen time and time again. It would make a lot of sense if disclosure was a real thing and there was, and their heart was in this for the right reason, to release it to everybody. Open source stuff. Just here you go. Play it at will. But just like when you go to any UFO conference, on the outside of that UFO conference are the little tables with the knickknacks and the donut trucks outside, and it's a grift. It's a moneymaker. I'm not going to say it's a grift. It's a moneymaker. And I mean, there's certain people that follow these shows as they go around with their little knickknacks and t-shirts and everything. So with James Fox, if you would ask him, I would imagine if you ask him, why do you sell this? And he's like, well, how else am I going to make a living? Right. So
I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem is if you're not giving back to the UFO community, and you're just take. And this isn't about James Fox. This is going back to the Stars Academy, where they were selling shares to their company,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to people, and UFO people believed so much in that they bought about $5 million worth of shares.
Well, Tom DeLonge came right out and said, we are going to build this spaceship and we've got all of this alternate technology. And I mean, talk about a grift. And he set it up from a long, I mean, granted, he's, according to everybody that's ever been around him, he's been a UFO nut his whole life. But I mean, he marketed everything perfectly. He, even to the government. I've got a way that you guys can get this out to the public eye and you guys not be the bad guy for lying to us for 70 years. So there's a give and take in it, I guess, Dave.
I get that. But there, in my opinion, and maybe I'm not bringing my point across very well. I think a lot of these groups are taking advantage of people because of their passion.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, and I don't say this to sound sexist, okay, but growing up, there was always the cute girl in school that would always give you that little smile, making you feel like you had a chance. And then you get to the sock hop or the high school dance, you ask her to dance, and she says no. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you brought her a flower, you made sure her seat was clean when she sat down at the table. You did everything that you were supposed to. Okay? The UFO community is not a community that has a lot of money. It has extremely passionate support. And when you get these people out there who are not providing any opportunity for the UFO community to help them out outside of their wallets, and you know how I feel about the term grifting, okay? But it really is shameful, in my opinion. If I had a documentary out that was going to and set up a press conference at the National Conference Center in Washington, D.C., I would want every outlet there to cover it. I would make sure that every UFO channel, every X space was talking about this. Okay?
Yep.
And I would do that because I want to get as many people as possible to take advantage of that. What kind of press does that do instead of holding it off? I even asked on X, is there a link that we could cover this live? No response from Mr. Fox. So
Well,
it was all planned out.
It was all
and the funny part about it is, let me explain this for a second, Terry, from a media standpoint. Okay? Because we got about 4 minutes to go.
Mm-hmm.
From a media standpoint, Terry, it was not handled well. Okay? It wasn't. I don't know who James had running that portion, but if he had a PR person, they screwed up. Okay? They screwed up because a lot of these UFO people think that if they get on mainstream news, whether it's Fox or CNN or even News Nation or whatever, they feel that that's where they're going to get their biggest asset because those channels hit a lot of people. And the UFO community on YouTube especially is considered niche.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But when you take away your biggest supporter for people who know nothing or care nothing about this subject, it doesn't help your cause. It's not going to sell you tickets. It's the people who are passionate about this subject who go into restaurants, go have a beer at the bar, okay, who are talking around the pool table with their friends or the Starbucks coffee shop with their friends or wherever it may be. Those are the people who are your word of mouth, who are talking to people, okay, about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about.
That's, Dave, and I've expressed this to you before, and you know this. The reason I don't go to conferences and stuff is those little niche tables on the outside that surround everything are people making money off of someone's heartfelt belief.
Yes.
And I have a hard time with that. I really do. And it's just like taking a movie that you've released already twice now. This is the third time. Cutting it up, adding more stuff into it, more stories into it without any other evidence. To me, I mean, you've got other people in this industry that have came out. And prime example, I've got an energy device I can set on my table. It'll power everything. That dies down after about 4 years. Everybody's forgot about it. 4 years later, I've got this energy device I can sit on the table. It happens over and over again. It's repeat. Then you go back into the background for a little while, and then you come back out and you ask for money again. Well, looking at it that way, James Fox got the prime one going. He doesn't even have to go back into the background and wait for everybody to forget. He just recuts the same movie and re-releases it with one feed that he more than likely got some financial gain from in some way, shape, or form, or at least he thinks he's going to.
Could be. Let's end it on a positive note, because I know you guys love bugging me about this. All right. A surfer was taken to hospital with minor injuries after a shark attack at Point Plomer Beach in Australia. Yeah. This is the fourth attack by sharks in the last 48 hours. The sharks are hungry. Local health district is telling people, don't swim at the beach right now. Go to the local pool. If anyone's thinking of heading into the surf anywhere along the northern beaches, think again. One gentleman said, as a warning, we have such poor water quality that's conducive to bull shark activity and has injured people critically lately. Just go to a local pool, because at this stage, we're advising that the beaches are unsafe. This is why I don't do the ocean, Terry. You know why? Because I would be a meal.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And I'll let you, I'm going to end it with your laugh right there, because I know you're just stay away from the beaches. Stay away. We say goodnight to Terry and hello to Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Rocking in the background with Little Brother is watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, LGAP, Facebook, Spreaker, LinkedIn, the Space Travelers Club, and on X at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and Bigfoot Broadcasting Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night, but soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night, everybody. Good job, little Terry Hall.
I'm going to argue with Paramarf. I come from Michigan, Marf, and I know that there's been bull sharks in the Great Lakes, so Nieners.
Yeah, I I ain't doing the shark thing. I won't go. No, not going to the Great Lakes. There's sharks there.
Well, he said, "Come to Michigan. It's all fresh water and there's no sharks." Baloney. Well, Dave, thanks for having me on. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will talk at you later on. And thanks, you guys. Another great show with Dave tonight.
Love you, buddy. You were awesome.
Plethora 6, Jules. Plethora 6. Good night, you guys.
Terry Hall, everybody. How awesome is he? How awesome is he? Good times. Good times, everybody. That was fun. That was fun. Who's on tomorrow night? Thomas Seawood will be here talking Pacific Northwest Sasquatch. We're going to have fun with him and get into his Sasquatchy ways and all that kind of stuff. Very good. Very good. And thank you tonight to Benno. Thank you tonight to T-Bone, my man, for a super chat and gifting 5 memberships and a necessary dialogue. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, give us a thumbs up as we get ready to say goodnight to all of you tonight. Thank you to everyone participating in our chat rooms. Your questions were phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Should you go pester me? Hello, dirty. Yeah, if you want to pester me, pester me. Bright Night, how are you? Bright Night, how are ye? Thank you, everybody. You guys all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night, getting into some Sasquatch talk. Take care.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
You need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.